Welcome, everyone, to today's broadcast. Southern Virginia University Knights in their first semi-home contest, a neutral site here at Salem Stadium as they host the Guilford Quakers. Art Furler here with Jim Bresnahan to get you started today, just about 10 minutes before game time. Jim, we were here a couple of years ago, and Southern Virginia had a great game against Apprentice. Big comeback there. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was 2012 on this very same field. The Knights really struggled at halftime a couple of years ago against Apprentice, but had a great second-half comeback. So this is their first game on this field from 2012 from that Apprentice game. This is also, I believe, the sixth game in the series between Guilford, the opponent today, and Southern Virginia. And the first two games of the series didn't go too well, but the last two games have really gone well for the Knights. Of course, a couple of years ago in 2010, they were able to beat Guilford for the first time at home, 36-21. And then a year later in 2011, or 3 years ago, they were able to bomb Guilford at Guilford. So now they haven't played since 2011, but it has been a pretty good rivalry over the years.
Absolutely, and that's the thing about college football, though, is a lot changes over 3 years. Most of your roster, frankly.
No doubt.
In Southern Virginia's case, head coach as well, Jason Walker here in his first year. Lots of new players as well. It'll be interesting to see how they fare. As we were talking in the pregame just a little bit, Guilford's had a pretty good run so far this year.
That is right. Guilford is 2-0. Southern Virginia has only played one game. They are 0-1. They lost their opener against Methodist a few weeks back, a game they trailed at halftime 33-7. Ended up losing that game only 33-21. So it was a good second half. 36-21 actually was the final. It was a good second half by the Knights, whereas Methodist has had two blowouts. They were able to beat Greensboro, I believe, 52-0, and came back and beat that same Methodist team 52-20. So they have played two games. They've won them both. They've scored 104 points in just two games.
Well, and as you mentioned, one against the same opponent. Southern Virginia struggling against Methodist, and certainly less struggling on the side of Guilford. Interesting thing, though, I talked to Coach Walker after that game and said I was impressed by the team, and he looked at me and went, "Come on, man." And I said, no, really, it would be so easy for a young team under a new head coach to take that 21-0 first quarter.
Or 33-7 at half, yeah.
Sure, and just fold and say, you know what, we're done, we'll try it again next week. But they didn't. They actually stuck in that game. They stuck with the system and won the second half of that ball game. So very impressive, especially so early in the season from such a young team with a new head coach. I think that speaks a lot to the potential this team has.
Now you look at the stats from that Methodist loss. Again, 36-21 was the final. Methodist first downed the Knights 27-11. They were 11 of 22 on third down conversions, and the Knights also struggled to run the football throughout the game. Only, I think, had 13 total yards rushing. So that obviously is an area the Knights want to work on tonight and throughout the season.
Well, and certainly I imagine that's been a point of focus in the off week. The Knights with a bye last week, an opportunity to take some time, especially, again, that new program putting together a good field test, see how they do against Methodist, but now coming back in a week off, see what they can put together, and we'll see how they fare here against Guilford.
Now, again, the Knights did not play last Saturday. I talked with Jason Walker earlier in the week, and he said, I'd like to have that off week maybe about midway through the season when everybody's
Sure.
kind of beat up. You don't usually want it after just one game.
And that's true, and I think a lot of seasons that would mean more than it does this season, though, because, again, this being their first season, they really had that time to get a field test in and make early season adjustments. Sure, you like to have that halfway through, but it can also be really helpful early on with the new program to say, okay, we know what we did well, we know what we did badly, let's right the ship early and go ahead and look forward to the rest of the season.
And it's going to be a tough act to follow from 2013 when the Knights had a truly historic season, not just their second winning season, but the best record in school history.
Absolutely. They set all kinds of records. There's Coach Delane Fitzgerald had plaques for all the players listing all the records that they did. It was they beat every opponent in Virginia. They had amazing defense, ending with 2 shutouts last season. Like you said, a banner season for the Knights. Tough act to follow, but we'll see how they can transition into it.
And it's a good point to make mention of the 2014 schedule. Much tougher schedule. First and foremost, of course, this is their first full season in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. Very, very tough conference. The non-conference games, Methodist might have been the easiest game. Guilford's going to be tough tonight. Wesley, of course, next week. It's going to be a very tough schedule from top to bottom.
Yeah, it really is. And you like some of those tough games early, particularly while you're out of conference, to give you some learning opportunities, some opportunities to really develop. You don't learn anything when you don't play hard opponents, and Southern Virginia definitely doesn't have that problem this season.
Some new faces and some returning faces. Mitch Stevenson back at quarterback after taking about a year off from football. And, of course, Jerry Washington, one of their best running backs in school history, he is back playing.
Yeah, lots of faces from last year, and that's been really good to see. A lot more returners. Michael Gehring, also a big receiver for him, had some really good performances last year. It'll be interesting to see how quickly the old regime can get going and hopefully bring some of these new guys along in the program.
Yeah, Michael Gehring. We've also got Michael Kilstrom back from last year. And the guy who really had a fantastic game against Methodist, Kyler Harris, caught 2 touchdown passes.
Yeah, great.
One of them a 99-yarder.
Yeah, great performance for him. Also on the defensive end, we've got Matt Gregory back. We've got Robbie Robbins, who had such a great season last year. Coulter Evans, a big man in the middle, and Sam Malore just caused havoc on offenses last year, and there's a lot of offense, as you mentioned, 52 points apiece in each of their first 2 games. There's a lot of havoc to be caused.
It's going to be interesting to see how the Knights, though, adapt eventually to play in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. And by the way, when it comes to our broadcast, we'll have all 5 home games broadcast, and this is, yes, it's a home game, as you mentioned. It's about an hour away from campus in Salem, about an hour away from Buena Vista. But the second home game, it's going to be truly an historic game, October the 11th. It's homecoming. It's the first home New Jersey Athletic Conference ball game for the Knights. It's also the first ball game on their home field.
Absolutely. Very excited for that. It's also Parents' Weekend, so we hope to have a really big crowd there. We're bringing in stands just for the occasion. We're bringing in so many facilities, hopefully to make that a really, really good event. It's difficult when you have a team that can't really have a stadium that they call home. I mean, Perry McClure High School has been really gracious to let us use their field in the past.
Right.
And everything, but it's really nice to have that. The environment that you practice in is the environment that you play in that's there on your home campus. You can get the student body an easier opportunity to come out and support you. Just lots of good things about having your own turf.
Well, you mentioned playing on Perry McClure's home field, and again, it is really a good home field. Fantastic high school field, but when you would have a high school game on a Friday and then the Knights would turn around and play on a Saturday, especially if the weather was wet and the field was muddy, that really beat up the field a little bit.
Absolutely. All of a sudden you're playing in a swamp and can certainly hurt you. So, and it's been such a beautiful turf field that we have, just not all the facilities, the locker rooms, all that stuff to facilitate football. We've been playing soccer there for years and lacrosse, but really the larger production, what's difficult for football.
And it looks like on the field we have the opening coin toss. Looks like Guilford won the opening coin toss, so they're going to take the football first.
Yeah, electing to receive that high-powered offense that I've already been talking about, looking to get started early for them.
Well, what do you see as the keys tonight? I mean, the Knights, first of all, again, as we mentioned, they only had 13 total yards rushing against Methodist, so they've got to find a way to maybe get Jerry Washington on track, and that really comes down to the offensive line, too. Well,
I think the big thing for the Knights are going to be to take some of those punches in the mouth, just like they did against Methodist, and not get defeated. Recognize, they've got a high-powered offense, but you can learn their system, you can get used to it, and there's a lot that you can do with it. So it's going to be taking those blows as they come and returning as best that they can, but not getting discouraged early.
And Matt Pulaski will, of course, be the player to stop for Guilford. He is their quarterback, and in the opening couple of games, he is 49 of 67. That's 73% passing.
Yeah, that's incredible no matter what level of the game that you're at. So definitely have to get a good rush on him. Again, Sam Malore, hopefully on the defensive end there, looking to introduce him to the turf as often as possible.
Yeah, Josh Scal, their top running back, and Adam Smith, he is also a pretty good a wide receiver as well. He's caught only 8 passes in the first 2 games, but 5 of those for touchdowns.
Yep, we're going to go quiet for just a minute as we listen in on the national anthem.
Thompson. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the
this is pretty picturesque here. I mean, that is a massive flag here over Salem Stadium. Wonderful facilities here. I know Southern Virginia is excited to have a stadium of their own here, as we were talking about, and just great to have these beautiful facilities here to play in.
Well, as Jason Walker told me, it's a great facility. It's also where they play the Division III championship game and have it for some time now. And it's just a special place to play. Nice field, and obviously it's a great way to have your home opener on a Saturday night.
Yeah, beautiful. Nice to have night games, especially this time of year. It starts getting a little cool, a little crisp. Makes it a lot of fun. And speaking of fun, we're getting ready to start the game here. Southern Virginia lining up to kick off, and the Guilford Quakers getting ready to return.
And we'll see what kind of start the Knights can have, especially on defense, facing a very, very potent opponent today, especially an offensive opponent that has put up 104 points in their first 2 games.
Yeah, very, very important that the Knights decide early to not get pushed around, to assert themselves on defense and do what they can to tame that very, very aggressive offense.
Now the Knights are getting ready to go ahead and kick off. Kieran Phelps getting ready to kick off for the Knights. He's their place kicker, and he'll be kicking off to the Guilford Quakers to get game number 2 of the 2014 season underway for the Knights. And it's a relatively short kickoff coming down to the 15-yard line.
Fumbled.
And brought by the Guilford Quakers across the 20, and good coverage, Art, by that special teams for the Knights.
Yeah, it really was. As you mentioned, very strong left kick that time. A high floater, definitely was short, but that bobble helps let the Knights have time to get downfield to make the stop. So not terrible starting position for the Quakers, but not bad either.
And you look at that defense, you run them down for the Knights. Very impressive defense, a lot of returning faces from that 2013 team.
Yeah, and as I mentioned earlier, the offense from last year got a lot of acclaim, but that defense, especially as the season went on farther and farther, really just ramped it up and impressed me as well.
Well, now we'll see what Guilford's quarterback, Matt Pulaski, can do. He's got Josh Scow, a running back, alongside. He'll start from the shotgun.
3 left on this. Very much looks like an early pass play startup. We'll see.
Pulaski. He's got 3 receivers split left, and it's going to be Scow, and the Knights knock him down.
Beautiful job that time. The Knights read that straight out of the backfield and stopped him very, very quickly. Great job that time.
Looks like Coulter Evans, one of those in on the tackle.
Yeah, Coulter Evans, very, very good at filling those gaps, reading the eyes of the quarterback, seeing where the ball's going and collapsing on it.
So 2nd and 8 now for the Quakers from their own 27-yard line.
And so important, again, for them to get that early start.
And it looked like maybe one of the Knights jumped.
Yep.
Looked like Pulaski kind of changed his cadence a little bit.
I could go either way. It looked like the center had a little bit of a false snap, too. But, nope.
Yeah, looks like the referees are going to march off 5 on the Knights.
Yep, and that is such a huge play because that changes 2nd and 8 all of a sudden to 2nd and 3.
And now it really is dangerous. You're expecting pass on 2nd and 8. Could be a run, could be a pass here. You just don't know.
Yeah, it could be all kinds of things. Really an offensive coordinator's dream. That's 2nd and short.
And again, one of the Knights jumped. Don't see a penalty flag. Pulaski's going to throw it down the right sideline, and there's going to be pass interference called apparently on the Knights. He was trying to hit Hobbs, the far wide out on the right side, down around the 30-yard line, and there was a little contact, Art, but referees are going to call it, it looks like.
Yeah, calling it pretty close, it looks like. I believe that was Nathan Barrett over that side for Southern Virginia, and you hate to see that. So there was a flag apparently for the offsides.
Yep.
That one declined, but they are going to take the flag for pass interference. Obviously, that one worth a lot more to him in yardage.
It was close as far as the contact goes, and it was also unnecessary because the pass was going to be out of the distance in the receiver, and it's actually pretty good coverage by, as you mentioned, the defensive back.
Yeah, it really was, and you hate to see 2 early penalties that quick in the game, but also in that scenario, looked like a 50-50 ball to me.
And it gives the Guilford Quakers a first down at their own 47, and they run the ball up the middle across the 50 to the 49 for about a 4-yard gain. Little extracurricular activity there.
Yeah, a little chippiness there. You like to see the aggression, but at the same time, you don't want to. It has to be controlled aggression. Big push of the pile that time by Guilford, able to pick up 5 yards.
Well, I know the last time these two teams played, 2011, 55-24 victory for the Knights. Art, as you mentioned, probably nobody who was on the 2011 team was playing in 2014, but you wonder if the coaches might have said, hey, these guys 3 years ago, they wiped us out.
Yeah, very, very possibly. Maybe a little payback time for them in mind.
Second down, 6 to go, and that's going to be Scal, the running back, trying to bounce off tacklers, and he is hit and dropped back at the 49-yard line.
Spun twice, looked like he might have a hole, but once again, beautiful read. I have to say, I'm really impressed by the Southern Virginia defense, looking in the backfield, seeing where it's going. In that case, it's the outside. It's the secondary who came up and saw where it was going and not willing to let that happen. Ended up pushing him back, bringing up 3rd and 7.
Big 3rd and 7 here at the 50-yard line for the Guilford Quakers and the Knights defense.
Yeah, big opportunity for Southern Virginia to put a stamp on this game at this point. Slow him down, and it looked like an audible being called at this point, maybe trying to catch him off sides.
Yeah, Pulaski's really changing his cadence, trying to draw the Knights off sides on defense.
That play clock is getting real close. Ooh, I think he barely got it off.
And Pulaski has his receiver for a first down at the 40-yard line to the 35 of the Knights. That is Scal coming out of the backfield. He picks up 15, first down. Guilford, 35 of Southern Virginia.
Yeah, it was a great pass into the flat that time, able to get that sweep on the outside. But at the same time, great job by the Knights. They still didn't let him break the huge play. They may be giving up a little bit on attrition, but they've definitely made the Quakers have to work for it.
16-yard play there. 34-yard line is where Guilford's at right now. First down. Knights are showing a blitz. Here comes a blitz off the right side, and the pass is wide open for a touchdown down the right side for Guilford.
Yeah, the
34-yarder.
Yeah, the Knights sold out a little bit on that one, trying to come in from the outside. A little uncommon, I think, to try to rush, especially considering they've been rolling to the right every time. But Robbie Robbins coming in, trying to make that backside tackle on the quarterback, just leaves a man wide open up the sideline.
That was Adam Smith making the catch. I believe that is his 9th catch in 3 games and now 6 touchdown receptions.
Wow.
67% of his catches have been for touchdowns. That was a 34-yarder.
A stat you've got to love as a receiver.
And the Quakers' extra point try is up, and it is good. So they've got a 7-0 lead with 12:13 to go.
Well, and as we mentioned, the Knights need to be careful to take some of those early shots, be willing to roll with that a little bit and not get discouraged. Frankly, I don't think it was a terrible defensive stand there the first time. They pushed him to 3rd and long, and the Quakers got bailed out on a good play. But all in all, so far so good. A couple of breakdowns in coverage there allowed for that touchdown, and Coach Walker mentioned that to me as well in between games. It's those single plays where there are breakdowns that cause huge issues, causing points for him against Methodist and now again against Guilford here.
Well, we talked in the pregame about Pulaski. He came in averaging his 73% completion rate, and he just looked phenomenal on that first series.
Yeah, it really did. Overthrew his receiver on the first one a little bit, but besides that, kept it cool, clean handoffs to Scow, and we can see how this offense has put up so many points already this season.
And that, Art, will see exactly what the Knights can do on offense as they're going to get the kickoff, their first time getting the football tonight, trailing 7-0.
Yep, great opportunity to answer right back, see what they can do. Long high kick taken at the 3, it looks like, by the Knights.
And the Knights are going to bring it back to the 20. Good return, 30-yard line to the middle of the field to the 40.
Oh, my
return. The ball pops
no.
loose, though, and it looks like a mad scramble at the 40-yard line. There's also a penalty flag down.
And the possession side judge is saying it's Guilford's ball.
Oh, my goodness. What a return by the return man, Eric Wilhoit, and he had a great return. He looked like he might have gone for 6, but then he got hit from behind. The ball popped loose, and it actually rolled ahead about 10 or 15 yards, Art, and is covered at the 41-yard line, apparently, by the Quakers.
Yeah, the referee's talking this one over. A huge result. However this goes, it's going to be huge. Whether the Knights have a big return or whether Guilford gets the possession back, this will have a big impact
Boy,
on
for
the game.
just a split second there, it looked like Eric was going to be able to take that the distance, but then he had to slow up for just a second to get away from a tackler, and it looked like he got hit from behind, and then that popped the ball loose.
Yeah, change of directions, very helpful, but they do slow you down a little bit. And the referee now with the signal. Cheering from the Southern Virginia side.
Against the Quakers.
Yeah, so we'll see.
I think they're going to have to re-kick.
Yeah, it looked like they were saying there was a guy off sides. So I said it was going to be big one way or another, and it turns out it might not be because we may be right back to where we were. So it was.
But it does avoid the change of possession, so that's the big news.
True. It could have been very good for Southern Virginia or very good for the Quakers, and it looks like they'll say, there's a man offsides, we'll just give it another shot.
And so the Knights are going to go ahead and receive this kickoff again.
Well, certainly shows a lot of potential in the special teams, though. For Southern Virginia, gives them a lot of confidence there, but it also puts Guilford on alert a little bit that there's a man in the back deep for Southern Virginia that can do a lot if you give him the opportunity.
That came easily, could have been a touchdown for the Knights. Instead, it could have easily been a fumble recovery for Guilford, but again, the penalty is going to force Guilford to kick from way back.
Yeah, that's not an offside.
No, it was not.
A lot of yards on that one. I'm not sure what that was.
Might have been some sort of unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, very possibly, but like you said, backed him up a long way.
And what it's going to do is it's going to force Guilford to kick off from their own 15-yard line.
Well, kicker's got a heck of a leg on that first one. Clearly, he did pretty well. We'll see what he can do for him this time, and hopefully, again, the Knights able to get a good return. But the deep man standing on the 20, you gotta love getting a little bonus that way to your run.
A couple of second-tier men, about 10 yards at the 30-yard line, and one of those, Michael Kilstrom. And the Guilford kicker is ready to kick off.
And they're pulling him 5 yards back.
Making sure they don't want to have an offsides right now, kicking from their own 15-yard line.
Absolutely not.
And here comes the kick. Nice high kick.
Yes, it is. Taken right about the 15, 16 maybe.
And returned by the Knights, and they try to go to the right side this time, and Guilford has it, but it's going to be a face mask, I believe.
Yeah. Yep.
Looked like the Guilford player got the mask around the 30-yard line.
Yeah, practically spinning the return man around, and that's what's scary. Yeah, as soon as that happened, the ball looking like it came out a little bit, kind of it looked like he was about to lose the ball again, but luckily able to hold on to it.
So maybe the Knights can go ahead and take advantage of a Guilford penalty here.
So there's another flag way back at the 25-yard line of the kicking team. And that
was offsides again. Amazing.
So we've had, I think we've run 6 or 7.
They actually call holding on the Knights. It was not a face mask, so those penalties will offset.
Huh.
And I believe they're going to go ahead and, I assume they're going to go ahead and kick off a third time here.
So we've had about six plays so far and about 6 flags.
These special teams players for both teams have to be getting tired a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Getting this kickoff in.
Well, certainly early in the season for both of them. A lot of certainly holding, but the offsides on both teams as well. Those are mental mistakes. Those are the things that will drive coaches crazy, especially because in that situation it doesn't offset. It's a huge thing one way or another. You don't have to kick off again. Once again, I don't know that I've ever seen 3 consecutive kickoffs unless one of them resulted in a touchdown and one's from the other team.
And Eric Wilhoit's got to be getting tired. He's returned 2 kicks and taking some licks on both of those kicks. So.
Yeah, took a big shot on that one. It's basically just kicking practice here for Guilford, though.
Guilford kicking off again from their 15-yard line.
Third time's a charm, I hear.
And everybody hesitates before they run across that line of scrimmage at the 15. Wilhoit will field at his 14-yard line, brings it back, has lots of room to the 40-yard line, and he's hit and dropped to the 44. Great return by Eric.
Yeah, so the first one was great for Southern Virginia until the fumble at the end. It gets redone. The second one was a pretty darn good stop by Guilford, comes back for offsetting penalties, and that one right about in the middle. So the mama bear, papa bear, baby bear, we're getting the average in between, just right.
Now we'll see what the Knights can do on offense. First series of the football game at the 45 of Southern Virginia with Mitch Stevenson, the quarterback. He's got Jerry Washington along with others in the backfield. Harris is in motion. And the handoff up the middle to Jerry, and he gets good yardage all the way up to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely. As a running back, generally speaking, if you can get 3.5 yards of play, that's your goal. 3.5 yards. You never get to fourth down. You just drive it down the field. So certainly picking up 5, that's a great start.
And a lot of familiar faces again out there. Jamal Coates also in the backfield. Michael Kilstrom, as we mentioned. Michael Gehring, also a receiver. Chris Harper has also been out there. And Kyler Harris, who had 2 touchdown receptions against Methodist a few weeks back.
Yeah, the Knights definitely have the firepower. It's a question of putting it all together, making sure They do what they need to do as a team to get those individual efforts combined.
And it's going to be Jerry Washington up the middle. He is wrapped up and knocked down. Looks like maybe about a yard shy of the first down marker at the 46 of Guilford.
Yep, but once again, good pickup. And what I've really been impressed with over the last few years, Southern Virginia's offensive line has struggled at times, really making those holds and getting gaps open. This time, a good push twice in a row by that Southern Virginia offensive line, who will very likely not get any of the credit for the rushing yards, but certainly deserve it for making an easy job for our running backs.
Big play here, 3rd and 1. 46-yard line of Guilford. Knights trail here, 7-0. First quarter action from Salem Stadium. Stevenson from the shotgun hands it off to Coates. He's got the first down, and he's nailed at the 43, almost the 42 of Guilford, but that's a first down for the Knights.
Yeah, interesting so far. 3 plays on offense, 3 runs. Southern Virginia in the past has been, I think, run predominant, but it's also nice for when you have a quarterback who's been out for a year. It's not a whole lot of cohesion to come back to. Nice to give them an opportunity to just get some positive yards, see those sticks move down the field, and get those first downs.
Got Killstrom and Harper split out to the left, and Harris is over to the right on a 1st and 10. And Stevenson wants to throw, but he's pressured over the middle for Washington. Dangerous pass, incomplete.
Yeah.
A lot of defenders in and around Jerry Washington on that pass play, Art.
Yeah, right as I praised the offensive line, they fell apart a little bit on that side. As soon as that ball was snapped, there were 2 defenders rushing very, very quickly into that backfield. Had to get away from it, but as you mentioned, very dangerous pass. I think a Guilford player got a hand on it. That could have been real bad real quick.
Now it is 2nd and 10 for the Knights at the 42 of Guilford. See if the Knights throw here on 2nd down and 10. They've got 2 receivers over the right. And Mitch Stevenson from the shotgun wants to throw back to the left. Fires, and it's caught. And there's going to be a pass interference. It's all a matter of whether it's going to be against the offense or the defense, as that pass was pulled in at the 15-yard line.
Yeah, I think that was on the defender because he hadn't turned and looked at the ball. That's the really a key thing in that opportunity. Didn't really he didn't look to make a play on the ball. He was kind of all over the defender, or the receiver just a little bit. To me, that's where that play is.
They do call it against Guilford, and it's first down Knights, 15-yard line.
Yeah, penalties declined. The result of the play gives them more yards from it, so they're happy to take that.
Nice pass, too, by Mitch Stevenson. Nice catch.
Well, and a good recognition of the mismatch height-wise on that side. Able to throw it to the big man, let him come down with it. And it's always good as a former receiver myself to say, you don't want the yards from the penalty.
I didn't know you played football.
Did in high school. So you like those yards coming on your catch, not on the penalty.
No doubt about it. First down, Knights, 15 of Guilford, trying to tie this football game as Jerry Washington is going to go in for a touchdown.
Oh, my goodness. The 2-man blitz coming from the right-hand side by Guilford, trying to make a play, and Jerry Washington went right in between them.
Carry that defender the last 2 to 3 yards.
Absolutely. Jerry Washington just going hard all the way to the end zone. Beautiful play that time by him, and a great response by Southern Virginia to answer back. Now just down the extra point, which they'll go for here.
And now Phelps is going to go ahead and kick the extra point, try to tie this football game at 7. Right now it's 7-6 Guilford with 9:20 to go in the first quarter. And the Knights trying to tie it with the extra point here. The snap, the hold, the kick, it's on its way, and it is good. And Art, we're all tied at 7.
Boy, just like we were talking about, the Knights had a couple of difficulties on that first drive by Guilford. They showed some heart, they had some good stops, but a couple of things didn't go their way, and then that one broken play allowed for a touchdown, but they did not let that get them down, nor did they let having to return the kickoff 3 times break their stride. Beautiful job just coming back and pushing that ball all the way down through the air, on the ground, all over the place. Southern Virginia tying it up 7 apiece, taking those blows and giving them right back.
A huge score, actually, when you think about it, because the only other game that the Knights have played this year at Methodist, they fell behind early, as you mentioned, 21-0 early and then 33-7 at halftime. So to respond to Guilford's opening touchdown with a score of their own, that's big.
Absolutely. It's big mentally for the team to to not get in that situation. It builds so much confidence to be able to take that first shot and answer right back. And now the onus is really over to the Quakers to say, okay, we answer back. Now what do you have next?
All this coming with 9:20 to go, first quarter. 7-7 is your score, and now the Knights kick off to Guilford.
High again, pretty short, received at the 14-yard line.
And good coverage again by the Knights as they limit that return to around the 32-yard line of Guilford.
Yeah, Southern Virginia's special teams really impressive so far, both on the kicking side. Not the longest, most powerful kick, but really hangs it up there, gives the rest of the team enough time to get down and help out, but also especially on the receiving end. All three of those kickoffs that they had to return had good yardage on them.
Well, now the tough part for this Knights defense is trying to stop a very balanced attack. It's not just the passing of the quarterback, but the running back, Scow, he's a pretty good running back as well. So we'll see what Guilford can do on its second series after scoring on their first series, and they'll start at the 32-yard line.
And the Knights showing pressure again.
And the Knights see that pass go over to the receiver, Thompson, and he goes out of bounds. First down yardage, and it's going to be marked at the 46 of Guilford.
Yeah, Guilford so far has been successful because they've been running extra men out of the backfield. So the secondary of the Knights have been doing a good job covering those primary receivers, but they delay for just a second and then send that tailback to the outside. And it's been difficult for the Knights to pick up so far.
That was Austin Thompson making the catch, going out of bounds at the 46 of Guilford. First down Quakers at their own 46-yard line. And now the referees will step in, and we've got maybe a legal procedure. Let's see.
Yep, flag on the far side.
Illegal procedure against the Quakers. Will back them up 5 yards.
Yep, that's called on number 4. No, that's the receiver to the far side. Not sure what the call was. C.J.
Hobbs, yeah.
Maybe what wasn't set, perhaps. Whatever it is, it's going to be it's going to back them up 5, 1st and 15.
And we'll see if the Quakers throw, needing 15 yards for a first down at their own 41-yard line now. Yep, Pulaski's going to try to throw. He's going to roll right, look downfield.
Good coverage.
Pressure, fires, and got to his receiver, Thompson. Steps out of bounds around the 47 or 48-yard line, so it's a short gain, but considering that could have easily been a sack, positive play for Guilford, I guess.
Well, positive play for Guilford, but huge confidence boost for Southern Virginia. He had a long time before he was able to throw that ball. Secondary had everything covered up, pressure on him. You're right, he was able to find a good pass for 6 yards, but I still think that's a win for Southern Virginia's defense.
And it's 2nd and 9. Looks like it's going to be Scow, and he's hit, dropped. Great defensive play by the Knights.
Big hit that time in the backfield. Sam Malore, as I said in the pregame, and just gets into that backfield and causes havoc. That time, huge stop to bring up a 3rd and very long. Again, on the first drive of the game, Guilford was in this situation and was able to get the first down on a pass up the right-hand side. The Knights this time hoping to stop it, force the first punt of this game.
Big play here for the Knights defense on a 3rd and 9 at the 47-yard line for the Quakers.
Just 4 men down in the box for Southern Virginia. They're looking for a pass.
And the quarterback wants to throw for Guilford. He's going to step up, and let's see if he's going to run. He's going to try to run for it, and he pump fakes and gets to the first down marker and beyond, up to around the 42 of Southern Virginia. It looked like they had him back at around the 45 of Guilford, but he used that pump fake, Art, to fake out the defender and get some extra yardage.
Yep, freezes the defender for 1 second, gives him the opportunity to make a bit of a move, and good run. So, again, great play for Guilford to get the first down, but beautiful play by Southern Virginia. Had all those receivers covered and forced him to finally tuck it and scramble.
Knights defense trying to make a big play to stop this Quaker running attack and passing attack. Pulaski, the quarterback, he's under center this time. Let's see if it's going to be a run. Nope, play action. Pulaski wants to throw. He's pressured. He got away from one defender, fires upfield, and it's caught at the 17-yard line, and they're going to rule it a catch. As Pulaski was able to get rid of that football, and he spun away from a possible sack and hits Adam Smith at the 17 of SVU, and that was a tough play for the Knights defense. They, again, almost had the quarterback Pulaski for a big sack.
Yeah, Pulaski's been shown to be very slippery so far in that situation, spinning off and still throwing a heck of a ball to a receiver coming back to him who was well defended, but able to get the first down.
First down, Quakers, 18-yard line of SVU, back to the ground game. They try Scow around the side, and he is hauled down at the 16 for maybe a gain of 2.
Flag down there in the middle of the line, typically where you see the flag down for holding.
Yeah, let's see if it's a hold. Yep, it is. That helps the SVU defense a lot.
Absolutely does. And again, I have to praise the Southern Virginia defense, though. As that running back came out of the backfield, he kept looking for a place, and the Knights did what they needed to, which is shifting that line and continually not giving him any room to get up and down the field, forcing him to run horizontally, not towards the end zone.
Yeah, you like the way the Knights have really came charging after this explosive Guilford offense.
Yeah, they really have. They're not backing down, and Guilford's had a couple of lucky passes, a couple of lucky plays there with Pulaski. Again, very talented, obviously able to get away with it, but you have to imagine on some of these, Southern Virginia's going to be able to come up with it.
1st and 20 from the 28 as the Knights show blitz. It's going to be a draw play to Scow, and he is hit and dropped right away at the 26-yard line. Coulter Evans again in there on the stop among others.
Yeah, great play by Coulter right there in the middle of things, saw it coming, wraps up. And that's one thing Southern Virginia's really done well this year as well, is they're not focusing on the big hits. They're not trying to get on ESPN Sports Center. They're trying to wrap up, stop the man with the ball, and make the big play for the team.
Because that's usually the problem for most defenses. They go for the big hit, and the guy bounces off, and then in many cases into the secondary.
Yeah, and once you get past that first man, it becomes so much easier.
Now it's 2nd and 18 for the Quakers. They'll send the running back in motion.
Shotgun, clearly a pass this time with 5 wideouts.
And they want to throw to the left, and now they go to the middle for Adam Smith, and he makes the touchdown catch again, his 2nd of the ball game. And that is his 7th touchdown reception now in 3 games.
Yep, Southern Virginia defense just getting beat that time. Let a man get behind him. It's really difficult when they go 5 wideouts like that to make sure everyone has their coverage.
For, yeah.
But in that case, it looked like Guilford's plan was, hey, we're going to put it on Pulaski. We've got trust in him to find an open man, and in that case, he was able to do so.
Boy, Adam Smith, again, 7 touchdown receptions, 2 in this game, 7 for the season as Guilford tries to add the extra point. And it is up and good with 5:31 to go first quarter. It is now Guilford 14 and Southern Virginia 7. And Art, the Knights offense will have to try to find a way to answer.
Well, and you said it. It's pinging right back and forth. It's we score, you score, we scored, and now it's Southern Virginia's time to see if they can do that again, whether that big play comes on the kickoff, whether it's a big return there, or whether it's the offense, again, finding a way to march down the field. You're absolutely right. Southern Virginia's turn to answer, see what they can do. By
the way, at halftime and also in the postgame show, you're going to be coming down onto the field and you're going to be talking with Coach Jason Walker, both again at halftime and also in the postgame show.
Yeah, we'll see his thoughts on it. It's really interesting, particularly as a new coach, to see his thoughts on the game so far. So we'll get it from. Our analysis is one thing, but it's nice to get it straight from the horse's mouth from one of the head coaches. So we'll get that opportunity here in a quarter plus about 5 minutes.
But right now he's thinking, let's get some offense, let's tie this football game.
Well, and he's got to be thinking, hey, we're holding our ground. So far, so good. Even though Guilford's been able to score, it certainly wasn't like it is in Methodist,
right.
Where they just broke big plays early.
Well, here comes the kickoff, and they're going to go for an onside kick. Heads to the sidelines and goes out of bounds. Boy, Guilford trying an onside kick. And they were trying to catch the Knights napping. But the ball went out of bounds, fortunately for the Knights.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery there, but didn't work out. And it's so hard. People think, well, if you can kick it so far, it's got to be easy to kick it so short.
Yeah.
It's definitely not. So to get it over the heads in that perfect spot, Guilford just not able to do it in that scenario, and it's going to be a great opportunity for the Knights.
Also makes you wonder if the Knights came into today with Jason Walker trying to figure out a way maybe to establish the running game, which they could not do against Methodist, to really boost the offense, Art, but also to maybe tie up the clock a little bit, to really control the clock and keep that Guilford offense as much as possible off the field.
Yeah, and if you can believe it, there was another offsides on a kickoff called on Guilford that time.
But the ball went out of bounds at the 46 of Guilford on the onside kick, and that's where the Knights are going to take it.
Yeah, so the Knights, of course, decline the offsides and take the illegal procedure, the kick going out of bounds. Beautiful field position. No excuse for the Knights not to capitalize on it this time.
Let's see what they do on first down. Going to go to the ground game. Jerry Washington And he is hit and dragged back after he got to the 44-yard line, so it looks like they're going to give him 2 yards on that pickup.
Yep, forward progress will help him out a little bit. Interesting on that one. Got stopped in the backfield, and the Guilford player actually pushed him for a couple of yards trying to bring him down. So little help on there, but a couple of yards brings up 2nd and 8.
Jerry Washington, 5'7", 170 pounds, not the biggest guy, but he is really tough to bring down.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got good feet, keeps those legs churning, and looks for opportunities to cut back and forth. Very often the first man to touch him is not going to be the one to bring him down.
2nd and 8 coming up here for the Knights. And they trail here 14-7 with 4:46 to go first quarter. Mitch Stevenson on a bootleg, and he runs to the left side and tries to get to the first down marker, and instead is pushed out about 2 yards shy.
Yeah, it looks like that was the option. He had the choice to give it there to Washington. Good thing that he didn't, because Washington got wrapped up pretty quickly thereafter, but very wisely brings it over to the other side and rushes. Looks like he got about 6, bringing up 3rd down and 2.
And, Art, this could be 4-down territory, maybe 2 plays to get those 2 yards, depending, of course, on what happens on 3rd down. You don't want any negative yardage here.
It's true, and I don't believe Southern Virginia has a particularly long-range field goal kicker, and so that would be the other option.
They bring in Coates as an extra blocking back, give it to Washington, and it looks like he's got the first down and more as he gets across the 35, and he's down to the 32 of Guilford.
Yeah, just driving that pile. Southern Virginia's offensive line, once again, just bearing down, pushing hard.
Right now it's the Knights running game against the Guilford passing game.
Yeah, it absolutely has been, and neither team has seemed particularly able to stop the other at this point. A good play here or there for each, but so far pretty evenly matched.
And if you're a Knights fan, you got to like the way they're hanging right with Guilford. A Guilford team that won their first ball game against Greensboro 52-0 and came back over Methodist last week and won that game 52-20.
Yeah, especially as you mentioned, 52-20 versus Methodist, who the Knights struggled with and ultimately lost to. For them to beat such a difficult team for the Knights, really interesting.
Knights will go back to the ground game. Lots of running room for Jerry Washington. Hauled down from behind, but he still picks up 7 out. Another penalty flag. Lots of penalty flags in this first quarter.
Boy, I've got to give a shout-out real quick to Craig Reese, the programmer at Southern Virginia University. He put the scoreboard together for us, the scoreboard graphic, and it was really cool. We looked at what it would take to put that flag button in, and we're like, oh, we're going to be able to do it for this game? I don't know. I think we're going to do it. Good thing that we did, because he has been using it all night tonight. So many penalties.
Well, you got such a great support staff, first of all, at the university.
Oh, absolutely. Both, all over the place, sports and not. In this case, since we've got a second, we'll go ahead and give a shout-out. Craig Reese is our production manager tonight. We also have Jordan Ide running one of our cameras. He typically does a lot of our production for us. Parker Monson as well. And then we have Bryce Roethlisberger up here who's helping us out running the score graphic. Thanks to all of them for their work on this.
That penalty flag, a hold against the Knights. It backs them up to the 40 of Guilford. Makes it first down still. As Stevenson on play action wants to throw downfield. There's no one there but a defender for Guilford who makes the interception and steps out of bounds. Looks like they're going to say he did not step out of bounds.
Yeah, it looked like he clearly did for me, but from this point of view, but it actually helps out Southern Virginia that he didn't.
Satir Stevenson making the interception, and I'm not sure if a receiver maybe broke off his route because Mitch Stevenson was throwing deep downfield. There was no one within 5 or 10 yards from a Knights jersey. So maybe one of the maybe it's either confusion or miscommunication on that play, Art, or maybe one of the receivers broke off their pattern.
Yeah, definitely some kind of miscommunication, because that ball was absolutely nowhere near a Knight and right to the Guilford player. Puts the Knights in a tough spot now, but also Guilford first and 10 on the 8. We'll have to see if the Knights can come up big with a defensive stop.
They've got Scow as a running back, so let's see if they go play it safe on 1st and 10. Nope, they sent Scow in motion. They're going to throw. And a quick pass, and they've got the receiver over the middle at the 16-yard line. Now another penalty flag is tossed in after Woodruff of Guilford made the catch.
I'll be interested to talk to our stats folks downstairs and see how many flags have been thrown already in this.
Seems like, if not every play, every other play.
And certainly sometimes they've had 2 to make up for the plays that haven't had any.
And the referees are talking this one over. The pass was pulled in for almost 8 yards
Yeah,
on a 1st and 10.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in the middle there. Again, typically that's where you would see holding, but it was pretty late thrown for holding, whether it was an unnecessary roughness. I didn't see anything that warranted that from our perspective.
But they're huddling up right now, Art. Of course, usually when they huddle, they usually pick up the flag and wave it off. Quite often at least.
And I think it takes a lot for a referee to be willing to do that as well, to say, you know what, we're okay, and not feel compelled.
Nope. It is going to be personal foul against the Knights, apparently. Must have come after the tackle.
Yeah, it was, well, and like I said, it was thrown very late to have been anything else.
Did not see anyone with a late hit, so maybe it was just a little bit of roughing on that tackle, according to the referee. But big penalty moves the football all the way to the 32-yard line of Guilford, and they've got it 1st and 10 there. They were backed up initially at their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, a lot of big hits so far on both sides of the ball today.
Guilford's on top here. It's 14-7 with 2:48 to go, first quarter. And Pulaski's in the shotgun, and he is going to hand it off the running back's Cow, who gets across the 35 up to the 36. Looks like it's going to be about a 4-yard gain.
Well, and it's going to be really important for Guilford to get the running game going, just as important it's going to be for Southern Virginia to get the passing game going, because you saw on the last drive, Southern Virginia really only putting 3 men up front, doing putting a lot of their resources into guarding the pass because the run game has been so ineffective and they haven't gone to it. So it'll be interesting to see if Guilford can get that running game going to free up the pass and vice versa. 4
receivers in the pattern this time on a 2nd and 6 for Guilford, and they're going to go to the right side this time. And they've got the receiver. It is Hobbs making the grab at the 47 of Guilford, and that's enough for another Quaker first down.
Yeah, heck of a catch that time. Apparently able to catch it, bring it in, and keep his feet in bounds. Big play that time for Guilford as they continue to move this ball down the field.
Well, Pulaski's got some very talented receivers, not just Harris or Adam Smith, who's caught 2 touchdown passes, but, of course, Hobbs right there earlier, Austin Thompson.
Yeah, nice. It's easy to talk about the quarterback and his ability to connect with, 73% of his passes.
That's right, going into the ballgame, yeah.
Yeah, but if you don't have receivers they can make great plays as well and catch it, it's not going to make you look very good at all.
1st and 10 Quakers, 47 of Guilford. And Pulaski from the shotgun.
Everything to the right. And
back to the right again. And he's got his receiver Woodruff, but that time it's a very short gain, only about a yard.
Yeah, well played that time by the Knights. You see that a lot where basically your receivers have to become blockers very quickly, and the Knights able to collapse through that and only allow 1 yard.
Well, the Knights, again, only limiting that play to 1 yard, make it 2nd down and 9 to the 48-yard line. And they have played pretty well here, Art, the Knights defense. So just a play here or there where Guilford's really made the big play.
Yeah, and because that interception, though, the Knights are going to have to make a stop and get that possession back. You don't want to go down 2 scores early.
Pulaski wants to throw again. And he looks and fires over the middle. The ball's knocked away.
Broken up.
No flag. Great defense by the Knights.
Yeah, didn't look like there was a lot of joy to be had that time by the Guilford player, but...
Yeah, Kadesh Edwards was the intended receiver, but the Knights timed that play defensively perfectly to avoid the interference and knock that ball away.
Yep, Kadesh looking for the flag, but the Knights able to, like you said, time it just right, wait till he touches it, and then break it up. Great.
Well, here's a big play for the Knights defense. Our 3rd and 9 coming up.
Yeah, you can only take so many 3rd and longs and have them get it before you really get demoralized. It's going to be big to see if they can stop them here.
Pulaski will operate out of the shotgun on the 3rd and 9. Knights showing blitz here. They come, and the pass goes over to the right side this time for a first down at the 40 and down to the 33-yard line as the pass is pulled in by the receiver Trey Dill, sophomore, making the grab, and he just ran underneath and no defenders on him, and Pulaski was able to hit him as the Knights again came on a blitz. They were looking to get the big sack, Art, but instead Pulaski burns him for a big pass play all the way to the 35-yard line of the Knights.
Well, and this has got to be driving the defensive coordinators of Southern Virginia crazy because they do so well on so many things, but it's those crossing routes. It's that mismatch where they get those short catches that are wide open that's been killing them.
And the running back Scowl goes into the middle of the line, maybe got a yard or two down to the 32. They'll mark him ahead for a 3-yard gain, but the Knights have really done a great job shutting down the Quakers' running attack. And they've got an injured Knight down on the field right now.
Yeah, never like to see that, especially with the trainers rushing out so quickly.
Knights limiting that play to just 3 yards to the 32 of Southern Virginia. Guilford on top here again, 14-7. We got 42 seconds left in the first quarter.
Yeah, so as I was talking about a minute ago, what's really important in this part is those third and long stops, but it's those continual plays where you have the man coming out of the backfield, or you have that really shallow cross where the man from the opposite sides comes over. That's what's been killing Southern Virginia on their defensive side, is they've got everybody covered as long as they stick in that general area. But it's been those crossing routes where they switch the side of the field, especially when the defenders get blocked off in the middle by all the commotion there. That's what's really been hurting the Knights. They have to find some way to keep stopping the run game as they have so far. Keep defending those long ball receivers, which for the most part they've done really well at, and not giving Pulaski a lot of options to go deep, but also find a way to prevent those short, wide open catches, because when you're short and wide open, they're catching it at 2 yards and running for 10 to 12 and getting those first downs.
I believe the injured Knight is Sam Malore, and it looks like he's able to come off the field basically under his own power. You were talking about the Knights really trying to put the pressure, too, on Pulaski. They have come with the blitz several times. If you can really make that blitz work, you can get a sack, but if it doesn't work, you're in trouble.
Yeah, and that's really the difference, is you have to be able to put pressure. Even if you can't get the sack, you can't just let the quarterback sit all day long, because as a defensive back, you can only cover for so long. And so there has to be some kind of pressure, but you can't do that at the expense of not having deep coverage, or thorough coverage on the receivers.
Well, now it's 2nd and 7 for the Guilford Quakers at the 32-yard line of the Knights.
It's about a half a second difference between play clock and game clock, so they can't run it down completely. And once again, looks for that screen.
Instead, he's going to roll to the left and throw in the end zone, and he overthrows the receiver who had a step on the defender in the back of the end zone, but that time the quarterback simply put too much on it.
Yeah, and again, Southern Virginia, though, great job covering up, making him look off his first receiver, look off his second, having to scramble a bit and try to come up with something. But at the same time, that secondary, they're having a tough time with that whole deepest.
I believe that was Matt Gregory who had the coverage, and he was trying to guard Smith, who already has 2 touchdown passes. Easily could have picked up a third there, but good coverage by the Knights, and the pass just a little too long. Now it's 3rd and 7 for Guilford, 32-yard line of the Knights. And the quarterback wants to throw again. Has time. Now wants to run with the ball. And he's going to try to run for the first down. Dives to the 25, and he's very close to the first down marker.
We'll see where they mark him down on this one. Extend the ball after he hit the turf. We'll see where it is when the knee hit, and they'll back him up a bit. Still waiting for the spot by the ump there.
Makes you wonder if they're short by inches, obviously on a 4th down play, if they wouldn't go for it at the 25-yard line of the Knights.
Well, their offense has been impressive so far, so they've been, looks like there's a flag down as well.
Just dropped. Can't imagine what that was all about.
Defensive holding. Well, guess
and
what?
They give the first down.
Yeah, they're going to go for it now, yeah.
These penalties really mounting up.
On both sides of the ball, too.
Throughout the first quarter. That's right. We're not even into the second quarter yet. Down to 5 seconds, by the way, on the clock for the first quarter. 14-7, Guilford on top. And the holding is assessed after the play, and it's going to be moved the ball all the way to the 15 of Southern Virginia.
Yeah, likely looking at the last play of the quarter. As a matter of fact, it'll get iced right here. And with that, we have the end of the first quarter. Southern Virginia, as you mentioned, trailing 7-14 against Guilford here. I think there are things to be happy about if you're Coach Walker. I also think there's some things to work on. What are your thoughts, Jim?
Well, no doubt about it. The Knights were able to respond to that first Guilford touchdown with a touchdown drive of their own, and they were looking like they were going to try to tie the ball game at 14 after Guilford scored a second time, but obviously the interception hurt, and now the Knights are just right now trying to find a way to stop this Guilford offense.
Well, and frankly, no one's been stopping anybody so far. We haven't had a single punt.
Except the referees with their penalty flags. So.
That's true. They've been stopping everybody.
Yeah.
But we haven't had a punt so far. We've had the one turnover down here, but really it's been pretty straightforward with we're heading one way, and eventually it's going to get to the end zone and vice versa. One of these defenses is going to have to step up and put their stamp on it.
Knights had the one touchdown on the board, or a Jerry Washington touchdown run, but I'll tell you, as far as Guilford is concerned, their amazing wide receiver, Adam Smith, junior wide receiver, he has 2 touchdown receptions, almost got a third right at the end of the first quarter. And he has 7 touchdown receptions now in just 3 games for the Guilford Quakers.
Yeah, what a weapon to have, and especially when you can. They've got this short game, because I think that's what it might be causing that shortfall in the short passing game. Is you've got a guy like that who's back there who's been hurting people all season long, who's hurting people now. Southern Virginia with those 2 touchdowns, you have to respect him. But you can't respect him so much that you neglect elsewhere.
Second quarter, play starts from the 15-yard line. The ball pops loose, and Southern Virginia falls on it. A big fumble recovery by the Knights, and that is Fomenina on the fumble recovery at the 25-yard line. I'm not sure who put the hit on the receiver Hobbs, but that ball just flew out of his hands, Art.
Was just saying someone's got to put their stamp on the game at the defense, and right as if they heard me, Utalafi Famuina comes up with that ball. As you said, I didn't see who put the hit on him either, but man, great job by him and great job by Famuina. It would have been really easy to see the open field.
And try to grab it on the dead run.
Absolutely, but better in this case to just take it, go down, save the possession. You don't want to end up kicking it out of bounds, giving it back to the other team. Just take the possession at this point.
So let's see if the Knights offense could take advantage of that big fumble recovery by the defense. 14-7, Guilford on top. And we're down to 14:53 to go until halftime. And the Knights will start this drive after the fumble recovery at their own 24-yard line, with Jerry Washington going right into the middle of the line for maybe 2 to the 26.
Yeah, great way to start that second quarter on defense. It looked for a while there like it was going to be 21-7, which is a tough first quarter to swallow if you're the Knights. But able to delay it out, just keep looking for those opportunities, and the Knights come up big defensively. Now we'll have to see what they can do on the offense. On that one, looks like a gain. They're going to spot him with a gain of 2.
So it's 2nd and 8 coming up here for the Knights. They're facing a Guilford team that was in the preseason ranked 3rd in the ODAC, I believe, behind Hampton-Sydney and Randolph-Macon.
Yeah, certainly a tough opponent, and Southern Virginia to be doing as well as they are so far, got to be impressed with that.
Mitch Stevenson going to roll and throw, and he's got Killstrom. And are they going to give that a reception or not? And at the 34-yard line.
Looks like the head linesman there's
they're going to wave it off.
Catch.
Nope, they're going to wave it off, it looks like, as an incomplete pass.
Yep.
Saying that he juggled it, apparently. Looked like he had it for a second, but he couldn't hang on, apparently. And so now it's 3rd and 8 for the Knights at their own 26-yard line.
Yep. Well, and the head linesman right there certainly had the best view in the house to make that call.
Big play here for the Knights offense.
I thought for sure you'd have made a comment about me praising or agreeing with the referee there.
Hey, that's only in basketball.
Fair enough.
3rd and 8. Big play here for the Knights offense. Stevenson wants to throw. He's got time. Fires. Got his receiver. And I believe that is Carroll, the tight end.
There it is. Big first down.
Michael Carroll, the tight end, making the grab at the 44-yard line, it looks like, of SVU. That's a first down, a big first down pickup for the Knights.
Yeah, especially for a tight end, typically known as blocking backs, not known for their hands, but in that case, able to turn, make the catch, get the feet in bounds, everything that they needed to keep this drive alive.
Knights have some interesting tight ends, not just Carroll, but also Ben Cannavaro, who, of course, played basketball for the Knights.
Yeah, and he's obviously a basketball player, big guy, big target. You like having those in your repertoire as well.
And it's going to be Jerry Washington on first down, runs right into the middle of the pack, and maybe got a yard or two. They're going to mark him to the 46, so it's actually going to be about a 2-yard pickup.
Well, and the Knights' running game has slowed down a little bit from how we originally were. We'll have to see if they can keep it up, but luckily, as you mentioned, the passing game coming on a little bit as well. So both teams now trying to diversify a little bit and see what they can do.
Got the first half first quarter stats, Art, and first downs, Guilford 13, Southern Virginia 4, and Guilford with 159 passing yards.
Yeah, and 7 accepted penalties so far, and that's not even considering all those that were waved off.
2nd and 8. Stevenson wants to throw. He's blitzed. He throws for Carroll. Threw it behind him. Incomplete. He had him out there, but he was covered, and the pass was behind him. And Carroll was able to hang on to it for a second, so now it's going to bring up 3rd and 8 for the Knights.
Yeah, 3rd and long. Once again, the plague of both of these teams, but both of them also able to connect. Again, we have not seen a punt so far tonight, so we'll have to see if that trend continues as well. Both teams with lots of 3rd and longs. Guilford 4 of 4 on third down, Southern Virginia 2 of 2. So we haven't even seen a fourth down, much less a team opting to take it or punt.
Knights averaging 6 yards per carry in that first quarter. 7 rushes, 42 yards. They're going to go to the pass play. Stevenson's blitzed.
He's in trouble.
He is going to be hit. Back at the 33-yard line.
Well, I think we're about to see our first punt.
Boy, they just came at him, and there was no chance or really for Mitch to even set up, let alone look for a receiver.
Yeah, and in that scenario, it looked a little worse than even the first time, but when he got rushed so badly in the first quarter, he just put the ball up and it went for an interception. In this scenario, opts to just take it, tuck it, and go with the result rather than risk the pick.
So the Knights are going to send Mackie Smith in to go ahead and punt. Guilford's return man is back around the 33-yard line. 12:08 to go first half, and the Knights trail here 14-7, hanging right with the Guilford Quakers.
Yeah, so again, the Knights defense coming up big to start this drive, but unfortunately unable to stop it.
And the punt goes ahead.
Another flag. Good roll. Oh, my goodness.
Let's see if this holds up after the penalty, because it's going to roll dead at the 17-yard line of Guilford.
Yeah, flag down here right at midfield, though.
The punter delayed several seconds to go ahead and kick, so I would imagine that might have had something to do with this penalty. We'll see who they rule the penalty against. Referees obviously said, hey, we've got several plays without a penalty. We need one.
Well, maybe they're practicing to be athletes as well, so they want to throw the flag, get that throwing practice.
Hold is the call on Guilford.
Defense.
So they'll mark off the penalty. This is going to be great news for SVU. They're going to push Guilford back deep.
That's half the distance of the goal, frankly.
And right now, Art, it's just a matter of the defense holding, maybe ideally without allowing a first down, getting the ball back for the offense, again, ideally on the Guilford side of the 50, if they can manage all that.
Yeah, well, they came up big last time after they had really absorbed a bit of a drive from the Quakers, so the defense has got to be riding high off of that last fumble recovery. But at the same time, it's difficult now to get back after your offense is unable to convert that for you.
So after the penalty, the ball's put down back at the 8 of Guilford.
Yeah.
You would imagine most times an offense, when they're back at their own 8-yard line, will just play it safe and try to run. Guilford might be the exception.
Well, Guilford had the same thing back at the 6, I believe it was, on the other end, and still threw on first down.
And they're going to run on first down. It's going to be Scal, the running back, and he is hit and dropped again for no gain.
Boy,
again, just a tremendous defensive effort by the Knights. Everybody was in there. I think Robbie Robbins was in there, one of those 3 or 4 defenders who got in there to make the stop.
Yeah, they were just piling in. A great statistic for the Knights in the first half. Guilford, 9 runs, rushes for 32 yards. Southern Virginia going 7 for 42, so really able to stop those short quickly.
That time they picked up nothing, so it's 2nd and 10 for Guilford at their own 8-yard line. And Pulaski, the quarterback, wants to throw. Quick pass, and he
throws
missed
wide.
Through. Tried to hit Hobbs on the right side, but he threw it behind him and too far. And now here we go, that play that the Knights defense looking for, 3rd and 10. They haven't allowed any yardage in 2 plays. And they got a chance if they can hold without allowing a first down here, Art, to get the ball back for the offense in fantastic position potentially.
Yeah, bad throw that time. Pulaski, 80% completions, actually a little better than in the first quarter, but that time just bad throw to his receiver.
Let's see if the Knights can make a big play on defense on this 3rd down play. Pulaski, shotgun, has time, looks, fires, behind a receiver again at the 21-yard line. Would have been enough for a first down, but he threw it behind the receiver. Trying to hit Thompson.
Yeah, back-to-back. Poor throws, too. I mean, you can only give receivers so much, so much leeway, especially running a tight route like that. And he put it behind him on this time, and he overthrew his receiver on the last one.
And on that 3rd down play with Thompson, he was open. He would have been past the line of scrimmage, or past the first down marker for a first down. So
easily. And now, as a punter, backed up in his end zone, very dangerous situation there.
Punter is back about 5 or 6 yards into the end zone, and the Knights hoping for a big return, trying to get into this game, only down 14-7, and it's a returnable punt.
Yeah, good kick, though, all the way back to the 40-yard line.
Fielded at the 40-yard line by the Knights, and they bring it back. It's Harper. Harper across the 45. Another penalty flag goes down as Harper got back to around the 48-yard line of SVU, but again, you got to figure there's a blocking penalty possibly here. 2 flags are down to the field right now.
Yeah, and you got to wonder if they saw the same thing. There's certainly been We've had offsetting penalties tonight. We've had multiple penalties on the same team. It could be, at this point, it could be anything.
Personal foul against the Quakers.
Oh, participating after the helmet comes off. An element of focus this year by the NCAA.
Obviously, for the concussions coming into play there. And again, this is positive yardage coming up here for the Knights, who got a chance with another score to tie this football game with 10:51 to go till halftime.
Well, this will be the second drive in a row where they start with less than 50 yards to go to the end zone. So great field position. I think last time they started on, what was it, the 46, and this time now even better at the 37. They've really got to capitalize on these opportunities because you have to imagine Guilford's not going to give it to them all game long.
Knights have a receiver to either side. Crowded backfield with Stevenson back there along with Coates and Washington. Kyler Harris is split right. He cut 2 touchdown passes in the opener against Methodist.
Yeah,
one of them a 99-yarder.
Yeah, the Knights have the talent. Again, they just have to bring it together at the right time, and now would be huge to equalize this game as we move farther into the second quarter.
Knights trying to work things out down on the field right now. A little confusion out there.
I'm not sure exactly what they're waiting on. And for a minute, the ump stood over the ball. Looked like we were getting the chain gang set, but that's all in place. So
it's going to be a first down for the Knights at the 37 of Guilford.
Just looking for something to throw a flag at.
Does make you wonder by the end of the ball game how many penalties will be called on both teams.
Cornhole. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Cornhole becoming so popular these days.
Even the referees are into it.
Yeah, they're practicing for cornhole. I understand. So now the referee down talking to Coach Walker looks like on the sideline.
Right.
Not sure what's going on. Highly irregular, and both teams still look like they're lined up getting ready to go. So I'm not sure what this is about.
We do want to remind folks, again, stay tuned for halftime because you'll be down there, hopefully, Art, on the field talking with Jason Walker, both at halftime and in the postgame, getting his thoughts.
Yeah, I'll pop down for that, get a few things there. While we have a minute, we'll give you a couple of scores from around the country.
Look at Utah beating Michigan.
Yeah, 26-10. Looks like there's a delay there for weather. LSU, also number 8 in the country, losing to Mississippi State 14-0.
And Vandy's on top of South Carolina early. Vandy's really struggled in the first few games this season.
Yeah, and of course the other big one tonight.
Stevenson throwing, but he threw a ground ball to his intended wide receiver, Medina, at the 32-yard line.
Yeah, just a hair low that time. Unable to connect with them. I think that was that Brian Phillips or was that Medina?
Incomplete pass makes it 2nd and 10.
Well, again, the Knights have to take this opportunity with they start the possession on the 37-yard line. Great chance here. They've got to get something out of this.
Stevenson going to hand the ball off to Washington. Great run by Jerry. Got to the 30, spun forward a few more extra yards, and that's going to put them very close to the first down marker, Art. A great spin move by Jerry, and then as he was tackled, he was actually spun forward and a couple of extra yards.
Yeah, got him right there at the horse collar and slung him around. Worked out, though. Again, Jerry Washington, so hard to bring down, is able to hold on to the football, keep those legs churning, and rather than going down quickly, pick up a couple more yards to give a 3rd and short. Huge play again for the Knights.
And again, you got to figure this has got to be 4-down territory.
Oh, absolutely.
From the 28, they have to get to the 27 to get a first down.
Under 10 on the play clock.
Stevenson to Washington, first down to the 25.
Yep, that's enough. Just keep the sticks moving. Just keep that offense. Continue to give yourself opportunities. Don't need the big play. 3.5 yards.
And again, just trying to run a little clock, too. Maybe keep that Guilford offense right where it belongs on the sidelines.
Yep. Ball spotted. Clearly the Knights not in a big hurry.
9:50 to go in the first half here in the second quarter. Stevenson's got Leviste over to the right and 2 receivers split left. Looks like Harper and Killstrom. And here comes the blitz. Jerry Washington tries to run away from the blitz He turns the corner and has stepped out of bounds. Knocked out around the 21 of Guilford. So he ends up picking up about 4 yards as he tried to run away from that blitz. And now another penalty flag is down.
I was just about to say, I think we've gone 3 plays without a flag. And then I looked, lo and behold, there's the side judge. He's got one for us.
He's got it against the Knights, looks like. Got to be a blocking penalty, you would think. Some sort of hold, maybe.
Yep. Either way, it's going to back the Knights up. Yeah, certainly on the cut across there, a hold is what I
And he
expect.
is talking to one of the linemen for the Knights who's pleading his case, but obviously he's not hearing it.
Well, hey, how are they going to get practice otherwise? Got that big cornhole tournament coming up. 1st and 20 now.
Ball's at the 35 of Guilford.
So that hurts. The Knights able to get that big first down and keep the drive going, but now they're backed up almost to where they started. They started 37, now 35 with a long way to go.
They got Killstrom and Boyer over to the right. Stevenson wants to throw a receiver
hard.
screen, and he hits his receiver. Pass pulled into the 32-yard line, and down right there is Kyler Harris. He made the catch, and he made it in a crowd, Art.
Yeah, great catch, great play, but Stevenson went down hard. He looked like he was pleading his case as well to the head ref, wanting a roughing.
Kyler Harris, only a junior, 6 foot, 195 pounds, made a great grab.
Yep.
In traffic, picks up 4.
Yeah, gain of 4, though. Typically that wouldn't be a bad play, but when you're at 1st and 20, you need more than 4 yards if you can get it.
Turns it into a 2nd and 16. Stevenson shotgun. Quick pass. Has Harper. Makes the catch. Breaks a tackle. Down to the 21-yard line. Chris Harper.
Great catch by Harper and willing to, again, break that first tackle, pick up a couple more yards after contact, and moving it down to go from a difficult 1st and 20 to a still pretty rough 2nd and 16 to a manageable now 3rd and 6.
Again, when you take into account, this could be 2 chances to get 6 yards.
Yeah, you certainly want to get it in the first and not force that pressure, force that tough decision. But like you said, it should be 4-down territory at this point.
They've got Harris and Gehring split right.
Running down the play clock again.
And
I think nervous about getting that off.
Let's see what the call is here on the field. Looks like maybe a timeout call. Timeout taken by Guilford.
So, timeout that time. I don't know whether they didn't like the formation or whatever it was, but it's pretty clear what the opportunity was because we had Mitch Stevenson, even after the play is thrown dead, throws that sideline pattern. So clearly that's what he was looking at. Guilford willing to take the timeout to not allow that opportunity. You can't take him with you anyway, so you might as well take the timeout.
So, Art, it's time for you to make a prediction. It's 3rd and 6. The ball is again near the 21-yard line. The Knights have to get to around the 15-yard line. So what's your call here on 3rd down? Do they go to the ground game with Jerry Washington or maybe a short pass play?
I'll tell you what, if it's me, I go play action. It's worked for him so far tonight. Or Mitch Stevenson's a smart quarterback. Maybe even you give him that opportunity again to make the decision. You run the option. If it looks good to give it to Washington, great. If not, you scramble. I don't think it's something that Guilford's going to be looking for. And really, that's what you want more than anything. You want to catch them off guard at this point, get a few yards. I don't think they go for the big play on this one. It makes no sense that I would predict that. That's clearly what they were looking to do.
See, I thought you were going to predict a penalty.
Well, it's only a prediction if you don't know that it's going to happen.
Right. Well, as far as the short pass is concerned, there's a lot of guys out there that could make the catch. They've got Gehring out there. They've also, of course, got Harris out there, far right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll tell you what, they do have 2 men in the backfield. It could be that it could be a play action or an option.
Coach in Washington back there. It's going to be a draw play. Stevenson, the quarterback, is going to try to run for it. He's hit from behind and dragged down at the 20. Might have picked up about a yard. Got it down to the 20.
Well, I called scramble. Do I get half credit? and it was certainly not something they would expect. It's nothing we've seen from him so far in this game, but it looked like
obviously they were hoping for a big hole, and got to credit Guilford's defense. They really filled it pretty quick.
Yeah, they did, and also it just didn't get off quickly enough.
Huge play here, 4th and 5. Knights will go for it.
Yep, they're
Too far
taking
for a
it.
field goal.
Big momentum shift, one way or the other. This will either be huge for the Knights or huge for Guilford.
Look out for Harper, the slot receiver on the left, on a 4th and 5 from the 20-yard line. Stevenson wants to throw. He looked left, nobody there. Flag down, throws, and it's going to be tipped and intercepted by Guilford at the 8 and down at the 10. But what the penalty flag is all about, that's the big question now. Is it going to be a hold on the Knights or penalty on Guilford?
Yeah, it's going to be a hold on the Knights as the defensive end for Guilford split out to the side. There was a clear, I could see it from here. Got a handful of jersey trying to slow down and defend his quarterback. But I'm...
In which case, obviously, Guilford will decline the penalty and take the interception.
Yep.
It looked to me like Stevenson wanted to throw to the left, maybe to Harper, the slot receiver. And whatever he was looking for, it wasn't there, at least initially. And then, again, the pressure just came so quickly, Art, that he didn't have time to really look back to the left anymore. He had to scramble to the right.
Yep. Tough situation that time for the Knights trying to come up with the play. Luckily, at least the interception ends up actually helping them out yardage-wise to pin Guilford back at the 10. Still, you hate to throw it, but if you're a smart defensive back that time, you look at it and say, you know what, we get better yards, I'm just going to bat it down. Maybe hoping to break a big play.
In fact, if the Knights can do what they did defensively just a few minutes ago and hold on a 3rd down play without allowing a first down, it's a situation where the Knights will have plenty of time, because right now we're at 6:48 to go to halftime. Plenty of time and maybe good field position for taking another shot at the end zone to try to tie this football game before halftime.
Yeah, maybe so. Also interesting, these teams came out as the run goes up the middle, goes nowhere. Again, the Knights defense just cramping up those offensive running backs, just stopping them. But the other interesting thing, we started out this game, we said no punts. It was one score, a score back, and another score. Since then, we've had nothing.
Yeah.
There's been stop drives, there's been punts, there's been turnovers, but quite a while now since either team's been able to put together an offensive drive.
On that first play, running play, about 4-yard pickup, Bruce Eisenhower, one of those in on the tackle, so now it's 2nd and 6 for Guilford.
Double stacked.
And they go back to Scow, and he breaks a couple of tackles, gets across the line of scrimmage and up to around almost the 19-yard line. Looks like he's going to be about a half-yard shy of the first down marker, which would bring up a huge 3rd down play for this Knights defense.
Yeah, that was an interesting play call that time. They run the double stacks receivers as a new formation to try to throw off the defense and say, what are they doing out here with the passing game? And then they run up the middle. One of their more successful.
Now they bring in a blocking back, and Scow gets the handoff, and looks like he got across the 20 for the first down. He really took a pop for that run.
Yeah, he likely will get that first down, but he may think twice about it before shooting that gap next time.
Surged up to the 20, which is where he had to go for the first down marker. And so it is a first down for Guilford. Knights still have a shot here if they can hold without allowing any more first downs to try to get the ball back for the offense with 5:39 left until halftime. It's 14-7, Guilford on top.
And the Knights, in some ways, lucky that it's not more than that. There's been some good opportunities for the Quakers to score that the defense has come up big and stopped, and in some ways unfortunate for them that it's not worse. The Knights, too, with some squandered opportunities.
We'll see if Pulaski throws here. He's got a man in motion. He wants to throw. He looks downfield. He's got time. Fires upfield, and he overthrows his intended receiver around the 40-yard line of Southern Virginia. He was trying to hit Woodruff, and he just let him a little too long.
Yeah, Gregory.
He was going for 6 that time.
Oh, absolutely. Gregory back there in coverage, too. That's really been dangerous for the Knights so far. They've done really well at covering that middle of the field. Between 5 yards and 15 to 20, they've done really well. But very short, and in the backfield, those passes have been very successful for the Quakers. And also that long ball, they cannot let those guys keep getting behind them.
And now we may have an offsides against Eisenhower. They throw over to Hobbs. He makes the grab and is hit right away.
So unfortunate.
Dragged down by Gonzalez. Justin Gonzalez on the tackle, but it looked like Eisenhower, anticipating the snap count, jumped across, and they may take the penalty because it'll be 5 yards, and obviously it'll maintain the down.
Sure, that is tragic. The Knights able to make such a big stop that time, such an important play for them to come up big on, and especially because it's one of those screen routes again, and they're able to stop it. But still, the result of that with the penalty, it's as if they didn't.
They will move the penalty down from the 20 up to the 25-yard line, and that'll make it second down, about 5 to go.
Yeah, lots of mental mistakes, and I think that's going to play a big role in who wins this ball game ultimately. Is it's going to be which of these teams can eliminate those mental mistakes, because right now they're offsetting, sometimes literally.
See if they can stop him here on a 2nd and 5. Pulaski's from the shotgun. Knights have yet to sack him. Here's Scow on a carry, diving ahead, short gain, up to around the 27 or 28, so that's going to leave Guilford looking at about a 3rd and 2.
Well, and again, that's rough because if not for that penalty, then 3 yards on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10 is no big deal because it sets up a difficult long yardage situation. But when you're at 2nd and 5, 3 yards gets you halfway to where you need, and it's much easier for Guilford.
It'll be interesting to see what Guilford does here on a 3rd and 2. Will they go with Scow again, the running back, or will they try for a short pass, trying to get across the 30-yard line to maintain control of the ball?
I don't know.
They got extra blocking back in there.
If it's me, they just hammer it ahead. They've been able to get to it. We haven't stopped them in the backfield much.
Let's see if the Knights can get some defensive penetration here. Play action, and they throw, and they've got the receiver. First down, 35-yard line.
Yeah, good pressure again in the backfield. That time looked like the Knights. Injured player down though for Guilford.
Looks like that is London Duval, the sophomore wide receiver who made the catch.
Yeah, he started to get up and looks like he's grabbing that right ankle, right knee area. And he has the helmet off, and boy, he really looks like he's in pain.
Actually, it's going to be Trey Dill, the wide receiver who made the catch and picked up the injury. Got the first down at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, so now 4 minutes and 17 seconds left. A lot of field left, but a lot of clock. And once again, these teams initially looked like the offenses were keyed in, able to figure each other out and just execute. But since then,
you wonder if the penalties, all the penalties, have kind of thrown off the timing of these offenses.
It could be that. It could be the defenses figuring each other out a little bit, getting a little more comfortable. And it also could be after a couple of those mistakes, you lose your confidence a little bit as an offense. If you're going through and everything's clicking and it seems like you can just roll and then things start happening, whether it's penalties, whether it's, why are we getting 3rd down every time? If they're underestimating their opponent and starting to get caught up more, you can get in your own head too.
This has been a big drive for Guilford. It started at their 10. They're right now at the 35-yard line. They picked up a couple of first downs. They run some clock, and that is exactly what the Knights were hoping to avoid. They really wanted to stop them a 3-and-out to get the ball back for the offense, to maybe give the Knights offense a little time to score before halftime.
Yeah. Boy, very, very slow to get off the field this time.
Yeah, Dill looks like he may not return. He's obviously going with some assistance over to the sidelines.
And even with the assistance moving pretty slowly, certainly hope he's all right.
He was able to get that first down reception, though, at the 35-yard line for Guilford. So it's 1st and 10 Guilford at the Quakers' 35-yard line.
Again, one man in the backfield, but looking to pass again.
Here comes a blitz, and a man is wide open. It is Hobbs. He's going to catch the ball, and let's see if he can make it in for a score. And the Knights are going to catch him from behind and drag him down at the 10-yard line. It looked like maybe the Knights came in on a blitz, maybe Will Hoyt from the side, and he left his receiver to do that, Art, and when he did, there was no one to cover Hobbs, and he was able to be caught from behind by 2 or 3 Knights at the 10-yard line, but that was a huge play for Guilford.
Yeah, quick read, defensive breakdown, certainly, and again, it's Southern Virginia has played so well tonight, and it's a couple of key plays where there's just been breakdowns that have caused massive gains. And unfortunately, as I said, that's exactly what Coach Walker was unhappy about with Methodist as well.
So it's 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. It's going to be an option play. The handoff up the middle, the pitch from the quarterback, and he gives it to the running back who gets down maybe to the 6-yard line for about a 4-yard pickup. That was Jurgovich on the carry, picked up 4 down to the 6, so it's 2nd and goal for Guilford at the 6-yard line.
Well, we'll have to see at this point whether Guilford tries to run some clock as well. 3 minutes and change left here in this first half, and Southern Virginia certainly has showed the ability to return kickoffs well and get good field position, even though the offense has been sputtering recently. We'll have to see if they try to run a little bit of clock.
See what Pulaski does here. He fires a quick pass to the left side to Thompson. He's knocked off his feet, and a great play by Gonzalez to keep him out of the end zone. Makes it 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. A huge play coming up here for the Knights defense on a 3rd down play, especially if they can get into the backfield and maybe get some negative yardage out of this, maybe force Guilford into a field goal instead of going for a touchdown.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was a big hit, but that's one of those scenarios Gonzalez not really wrapping up. It's dangerous in that scenario. He was able to slide by. If that knee doesn't touch down, which looks like was actually for a loss, then that gets real ugly real quick.
3rd and goal from the 2, almost the 1.5 for Guilford. Pulaski with a blitz being shown. And Pulaski wants to throw. He fires into the end zone. It's caught for a touchdown.
And good coverage that time. That's just a great play.
Hobbs making the catch.
Going up and making the catch over the defender. Well defended. He was covered. Just great throw right where it had to be. That was either caught by Hobbs or sails out of bounds.
And the big pass play, of course, on the attempted blitz by the Knights earlier, leading for that touchdown because the receiver was able to get all the way to the 10-yard line. And then it was 1st and goal at the 10. The Knights give up the touchdown to make it 20-7 now. Guilford on top by 13.
Yeah, it's just those couple of mistakes here and there that have been making it so difficult for the Knights.
And the extra point try is good. And now Guilford has a 21-7 lead, Art, with 2:17 to go here in the second quarter.
Well, and frankly, I know I just said it, but I have to say again, if not for a couple mistakes, it's a 7-7 ball game.
No doubt.
There was that huge one early on I believe it was the second drive, and then this one here.
The blitz really burned the Knights. The quarterback was doing the blitzing, and it was his man who was left wide open on the sideline. I can only assume that Will Hoyt, the cornerback, thought maybe he was going to get some safety help, which didn't happen.
Yeah, and it's difficult to swallow that kind of pill, especially on a defense that's been doing so well to have. I mean, they've run how many? 30 plays, 40 plays, and you do well at icing them on
2/3 of those plays.
Yeah, maybe even more. But
yeah,
it's those
maybe 75%.
Yeah, those few big ones, though, are enough, and they come at the right times that they've been able to hang on to it and keep them in the ball game.
Still, Guilford came in averaging 52 points a game. Right now they've got 21. The Knights defense has played pretty well, as you mentioned. Just those few plays really making the big difference tonight.
Yep, another long kick, taking this one back in the end zone.
3 yards deep.
Decide to bring it out.
And the Knights got a good return to the 30-yard line. Up across the 30 goes Harris, and he goes all the way up around the 35-yard line. Good return by Kyler Harris. Great athlete, 6 foot, 195-pound junior.
Yeah, special teams, again, by Southern Virginia, doing so well that time. I second-guessed him a little bit, taking it 2 yards in the end zone with a big wall coming at him, but believed in himself, believed in the blockers coming ahead of him, and able to get an extra 14 yards on top of what he had if he took a knee.
Well, now the Knights have a little time to work with, about 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. If you're looking touchdown, they got 66 yards to go.
Yeah, long field. The last thing you want to do, though, is give the ball back to Guilford.
No doubt about that. They're going to go to the ground game. Jerry Washington up the middle.
Beautiful
Good
play.
run. 40, 41, 42. 8 yards on the pickup, almost 9.
Keeping it on the ground and pushing the ball up. We'll see, again, whether the Knights try to play it safe and just run out this clock and take the lead where it is at the half, or whether they're going to push it and try to get in.
2nd down and 2 coming up for the Knights. Jerry Washington right behind Stevenson. Stevenson wants to throw, gets away from the pressure, runs for the first down, has it, 50, out of bounds. There is a flag down, though, as Stevenson scrambling, got across the 50 and got to near the 45 of Guilford, but again, a penalty flag. Let's see if this is one of those blocking penalties. Waiting on the referee to signal exactly what the flag was all about. Stevenson had picked up the first down, and it's a hold on Southern. Nope, it looks like it's going to be a hold on Guilford. So positive play there, positive penalty. And the yardage is assessed. And now Southern Virginia, after the penalty yardage, going to have the football inside the Guilford 40 at the 37 of the Quakers. Jerry Washington stays in the backfield. Leviste is the receiver over to the right. 2 receivers split left for the Knights on a 1st and 10. Back to pass goes Mitch. Screen pass being set up. Threw it to Jerry Washington. Washington was bumped. Pass is incomplete. Going to be pass interference likely on Guilford. Another penalty on the Quakers. Clock is down to 1:34 to go till halftime. Guilford on top here, 21-7. Stay tuned for halftime again. Right at the beginning of halftime, Art Furler will have an interview, hopefully, with Jason Walker, head coach of the Knights. Also hope to hear from Coach Walker in the postgame show as well. Salem Stadium, the location tonight for the home opener for Southern Virginia. Defensive holding, again the call on Guilford. So they'll assess the penalty, mark off the yardage, and it's going to be Knights football first down, 27-yard line of Guilford with 1:34 to go until halftime. 21-7 is your score right now. Quakers on top by 14. Knights hoping to score before halftime to narrow the margin back to a touchdown. Leviste is the receiver over to the right, and two receivers, including Harper, split left. Washington in the backfield with Stevenson. Mitch takes the snap, drops to throw, fires, has his receiver, and the receiver is knocked out of bounds. That's Harper. 26-yard line, short gain, maybe 2 yards on the pickup. Stops the clock, 1:25 to go until halftime. Ball put down at the 26 of Guilford. Only about a yard pickup. Second down, 9 to go for the Knights at the 26 of the Quakers. Knights huddle up looking for a big play on a second down and 9. Kyler Harris, the receiver, split right this time. Killstrom and Harper over to the left. And Stevenson from the shotgun on second down and 9. Back to throw. He looks. He fires. In and out of the hands of Killstrom. Penalty going to be defensive pass interference on Guilford again. Defender was on the back of Killstrom as he went for the football. Knights are going to get some more penalty yardage here with 1:20 on the clock until halftime. So defensive pass interference and the penalties assessed, and the ball is put down to the 16 of Guilford. First down, Knights. 80 seconds left on the clock until halftime. 21-7, Guilford on top here. They'll send Killstrom over to the right this time. Kyler Harris split left. Stevenson shotgun. Washington alongside. Stevenson takes the snap, looks to throw. Looking for Harris, lofts it towards the end zone. Another flag down. Let's see if this is maybe going to be defensive holding now on Guilford. Looked like a couple of receivers got slowed up by Guilford defenders with 1:14 on the clock. Guilford drawing a lot of penalties in the last couple of seconds, last few plays. See what this penalty flag is. And it'll go hold against Guilford again. Defensive holding is the call. Knights get closer to the Guilford end zone. Now the ball's put down to the 8-yard line. It's first and goal, Knights. 1:14 to go till halftime. 21-7, Quakers on top, but the Knights only 8 yards away from getting their second touchdown today. Their first touchdown, a Jerry Washington touchdown run. Stevenson leads them up to the line of scrimmage. One receiver over to the right. That's Leviste. Two to the left. First and goal for SVU, 8-yard line of Guilford. Stevenson takes the snap, hands it off to Jerry Washington, to the 3, to the 2, and he's down near the 2-yard line. About a 6-yard gain for Jerry, and it's going to bring up second and goal for the Knights around the 2-yard line of Guilford. Now a timeout's going to be taken by Southern Virginia with 1:03 to go here in the second quarter, and the Knights again trailing here 21-7, but they've got a chance. They have the ball down at the 2-yard line right now of Guilford. Guilford with a lot of pass interference penalties and defensive holding penalties on this drive, allowing the Knights to really move it down the field, preserve the time on the clock right now, and try to get this touchdown on the board, which would pull them back within 7 points. Right now they're down 21-7 here at Salem Stadium. Salem Stadium is the location tonight, home of the Division III football championship game. And right now the Knights are down by 14, but they've got a shot here to score right before halftime to try to narrow this margin back to a 7-point ball game. Don't forget the Knights will be playing on the road next week. They've got a very tough opponent next Saturday on the road at Wesley, their next home game. Again, as we mentioned in the pregame show, going to be October the 11th. That'll be against Montclair State, and it'll be a historic game. It'll be homecoming. It'll be the first game, home game, in the New Jersey Athletic Conference for the Knights. It'll be their first home game on their home football field. Playing a home game tonight, of course, here at Salem Stadium. Another timeout is going to be taken, looks like, on the field, as we'll stay right here. 21-7. The Knights trail by 14. They've got a second and goal coming up from the 2-yard line, and the Knights take that timeout to talk it over what they want to do on a second and goal from the 2-yard line. Plenty of opportunities here. They can go with the short passing game. Actually, that timeout was taken by the Guilford Quakers. Quakers want to talk it over defensively about what they want to do because, the Knights have a lot of different options here. They can use Stevenson to run the ball. They can go with Jerry Washington on a short run. Jerry Washington has their first touchdown running the ball tonight. And, again, the passing game could come into play. A lot of good receivers out there for the Knights. Guys like Leviste, Harper, of course, Kyler Harris, Michael Kilstrom. We'll see what the coaching staff for the Knights want to do here on a second and goal from the 2-yard line. As we mentioned, 63 seconds are on the clock. So the Knights have plenty of time left here to try to get this ball in. They've got 3 shots from 2 yards away. It's just second and goal coming up for the Knights. And the Knights are going to send Jerry Washington and Jamal Coates back on the field as running backs. Coates usually a blocking back. Here we go. Stevenson from the shotgun and second and goal from the 2-yard line. Washington is right behind Mitch Stevenson. Coates line to the right as a blocking back. And they're going to go to Jerry Washington over the right side. He stumbles at the 2, knocked down at the 1, and just shy of the 1-yard line, bringing up third and goal for the Knights from about a yard and a half away. See what the Knights do here. Third down play coming up from about the 1-yard line. Knights are ready to go. They've got Washington still in the backfield along with Coates, the blocking back. And we're down to 55 seconds left till halftime. Third and goal for the Knights. Stevenson turns, play action, throws for Coates, and he overthrew him in the end zone. He had him out there. Would have been a touchdown. Just led him a little too long, and Coates diving but could not make the play, and now it is fourth and goal. Decision time for the Knights. It'll be an easy field goal, obviously, but they want the touchdown. They played action that time and had Coates out there in the end zone, but he couldn't make the grab. Stevenson led him a little too long, and now it's fourth and goal from about a yard away. Knights going to go for it, looks like. All a matter of the play call here with the clock stopped with 47 seconds left till halftime. See what the Knights decide to do here if they run or throw, needing only 1 yard for a touchdown. And now a timeout is going to be taken on the field. Timeout is taken by the Knights. They want to talk it over with 47 seconds to go here in the second quarter. 21-7. Guilford is on top. Knights had a shot on a third down play to get that touchdown. Mitch Stevenson on play action trying to fire the ball end zone to Jamal Coates. Coates was open in the end zone, but Mitch led him a little too long. And Coates diving for it, could not pull it in. And now that brings up a fourth and goal for the Knights at the 1 yard line of the Guilford Quakers. And again, we just have 47 seconds left on the clock until halftime. 21-7, Guilford on top. Interesting play call coming up here for the Knights on a fourth down play. They want to obviously go for the touchdown. Just a matter of what they call. They've got a lot of opportunities here. They've got options available to them. They got Jerry Washington coming back on the field as a running back. But they've also got some good receivers. They've also got Coates back out there as a blocking back, potential blocking back. So here we go. Big play. Fourth down, fourth and goal from the 1 yard line for the Knights as they try to hammer this ball into the end zone to try to get their second touchdown tonight and maybe pull within 7 at halftime. 21-7 is your score right now. Stevenson shotgun to Jerry Washington into the middle of the end zone, and no signal. It looks like Guilford stopped him short. Knights thought they had the ball into the end zone, but the referees look like they're going to mark Washington down just inside the 1 and inches away from pay dirt. And it looks like the Quakers have held. The Knights still down there on offense trying to figure out where exactly the ball was, but it looks like they're going to mark Jerry Washington down shy of the end zone with 41 seconds left till halftime. So Guilford holds on a big fourth down play, and the Knights literally inches away from the end zone. But Jerry Washington apparently did not get across the plane, and the Knights give the ball over to Guilford on downs, and now the Quakers, they'll be looking to try to run this clock out and try to avoid a safety. They're backed up inside their own 1 yard line on offense. So the Knights came close, literally within inches of getting the touchdown. And now the Knights will take a timeout and talk it over what they want to do defensively with 41 seconds left until halftime. The Knights obviously hoping to get some defensive penetration, maybe pick up some 2 points out of this, a safety, if they can get some defensive penetration and get into the end zone. If you're Guilford, obviously you could throw the football with the quarterback Pulaski, but in all likelihood, I would imagine Pulaski may go under center and run a quarterback sneak, or he may just hand off to his running back, who would obviously start several yards deep in the end zone. The Knights are hoping somehow, some way to get a safety and get 2 points out of this. They came very close to getting a touchdown, of course, on a third down pass to Jamal Coates, who was open in the end zone. Could not make the connection there. And on a fourth down play, Jerry Washington getting the handoff. And Jerry Washington came very close, but he was inches away when he was tackled inside the 1 yard line. So Guilford holds on right now to a 21-7 lead here as we get closer and closer to halftime. Just 41 seconds on the clock until halftime. Knights defense coming onto the field, hoping somehow to get some defensive penetration and maybe get a safety right before halftime. 21-7 is your score. The Quakers on top. They've scored 3 times. They came in averaging 52 points a ball game. They have 3 touchdowns so far in the first half. Knights had the one Jerry Washington touchdown run. And here we go on a 1st and 10 for Guilford inside their own 1 yard line. Quakers lined up. Backs are in the eye. And let's see if the quarterback Pulaski just simply takes it on a sneak straight ahead, trying to avoid any possibility of a safety as the Knights try to work it in. Pulaski's going to throw. He fires up the left side, and he overthrows his receiver at the 35-yard line. Trying to hit a receiver on a play from deep in his own end zone. Had the receiver out there, but he overthrew him. Brings up 2nd down from inside the Quaker 1 yard line with 35 seconds to go. Well, the Quakers obviously trying to hit the big play to get out of their deep own end inside their own 1 yard line. Trying to avoid that safety among other things. See what the Quakers do here on a 2nd down and 10 from inside their own 1, inches away from their own end zone. Backs are in the eye this time. Scowl the tailback. And Pulaski, the quarterback, he's under center again. Knights trying to get some defensive penetration. Pulaski wants to throw, and the quarterback scrambles out of the end zone. He's going to run for the 1st down marker and get it, and then go out of bounds around the 15 or 16 yard line. So Pulaski able to avoid the sack in the end zone, get the 1st down marker, and give this Quakers offense a little breathing space now, as he is marked down around the 15 yard line of Guilford with 28 seconds to go until halftime. Now we'll see if the Quakers play conservative and try to run the clock out or take a shot downfield from their own 15-yard line. Pulaski's shotgun this time, the quarterback. Back to throw. Going to throw. Fires over the middle. He's got his receiver. What a hit put on the receiver. Hobbs made the catch, but he paid for it. He was really blasted at the 35-yard line by the Knights. And that was a great defensive play by Nathan Barrett, the defensive back, the sophomore from Daytona Beach, Florida. Put a real pop on Hobbs, knocking him to the ground at the 35-yard line. 1st down, Guilford. 20 seconds and counting. Back to Pascal Pulaski. He looks to throw. He's pressured. Eisenhower coming after him. He fires on the run. Got his receiver out of bounds. 48-yard line of SVU. And that's going to be about a 17-yard gain. And now suddenly Guilford has the ball at the Knights' 48-yard line with just 11 seconds left on the clock. This drive starting inside the Guilford 1. It is now the Knights' 48-yard line. Again, just 11 seconds left in the first half. Pulaski has 2 receiver split left and 2 to the right. 21-7, Guilford on top as we near halftime. Pulaski from the shotgun. Has time, looks downfield, wants to fire deep across the middle. Got a receiver out there, but he threw it incomplete. Just a little bit out of the reach of the intended receiver, Adam Smith, who already has 2 touchdown catches today. That stops the clock with just 6 seconds to go until halftime. Quakers lead here 21-7. Ball at the 48-yard line right now of SVU. Guilford just keeps throwing that football. Not content to run the clock out before halftime. On top by 14 points here in the second quarter. See if Pulaski takes one more shot downfield. Maybe time for one more play, barring a penalty. 48-yard line. Pulaski to throw again from the shotgun. He fires. He's got his receiver, Woodfolk, and he goes out of bounds, and that is it. The clock has run out here in the first half as the Knights stop the Guilford Quakers on that last drive down the field. And at halftime, your score, Guilford 21 and Southern Virginia 7. As the Knights go into the locker room down by 14 points at halftime. And stay tuned here in just a few seconds. We're going to have Art Furler talking with head coach Jason Walker, head coach of the Knights. And again, halftime score 21-7 right now. And we're going to send it down to Art Furler.
Art Furler here with Coach Walker. Coach, your team's in a very tough fight tonight, but hanging in so far. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, the offense on our side of the ball is moving the ball. They're doing a really good job controlling it and being able to spread the ball around, run, pass. I think they're doing a really good job. On the defensive side, we've made way too many mental mistakes. They've had 3 long drives, and it's all on 3 long plays with a couple blown coverages and a couple missed tackles, and it's just things that we got to clean up at the half to make us stay in the game right there.
Yeah, lots of penalties on both sides of the ball, and you mentioned just a couple of big plays. What adjustments do you think you need to make at the half to come out here strong in the second?
Well, like I said, we had to clean up the mistakes that we were making. On those 3 plays that killed us there in the first half, they're all mistakes, mental mistakes, and missed tackles, and if we clean that up, I think we'll be right in it.
Outstanding. Best of luck, Coach. We'll send it back up to Jim in the box.
Okay, so again, the halftime score right now is 21-7. The Guilford Quakers on top of the Southern Virginia Knights here at halftime. 14-point lead right now for the Quakers at halftime. And we'll be back for more halftime activity. We'll have the stats later in this halftime show. We're going to take a little break right now, but again, your halftime score, it is Guilford 21 and Southern Virginia 7.
We're very interested at Southern Virginia University in developing the whole person.
I think we're building a tradition of character and a tradition of excellence, and we're doing it one athlete at a time.
Southern Virginia University is a place where you can be passionate about your education, committed to excellence as an athlete, and never compromise your faith.
Southern Virginia has challenged and engaged us, but now we have to continue on our own. We must use our talents.
Fellow graduates, our education at Southern Virginia has been replete with wow moments.
You are not ordinary. You have a great work to do in one of the most extraordinary times in the history of our civilization.
We've learned that the art of reaching graduation is sometimes quite simply the art of applying the seat of the pants to the seat of the chair.
You should be very proud that you are about to graduate from Southern Virginia University, an experiment in excellence, in values-based education, indeed, an institution of higher learning. And I mean that in the sense that you have been tutored in all that is uplifting, moral, and ennobling to the human character.
We have been given the knowledge, the tools, and all the secrets to become successful and achieve any and every goal that we put our mind to. When Dr. Martin Luther King spoke about having a dream, he was only envisioning what Southern Virginia University is and what it always will be. A place where a person of any race, nation, color, or creed can look back and call home.
What has wowed me about my Southern Virginia education has been the small moments in which my professors have taught me something that many in the world do not know, that scholarship without discipleship is empty.
Every experience that you have is there to teach you and to move you into being more of who you really are.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I got up before 6 o'clock after staying up till almost 1 o'clock. Got on a bus, came up here to the temple.
I think that it's really great for the school to have a day off. It shows the students that the temple and service are a priority.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. My day was fantastic.
Yeah, we spent it in here doing the lights, which was actually a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
We were able to go in and do baptisms today.
Today I did an endowment session.
I've never been in the Washington, D.C. temple to do baptisms.
I was talking to one of my friends at a different school, and she was like, man, that's so awesome that you guys get to skip class to go to the temple.
Being a leader servant a lot of times isn't being out in the front, it's doing the quiet little things like doing these lights.
It helps me balance and figure out kind of a sense of priority in everything I'm doing.
Serving is so simple and selfless, and it's just so important to apply in your life, and it's nice to know that the school feels the same way.
It's not a day about me, I guess. It's a day about doing work for somebody else.
Just the fact that we're following Christ, and He is the ultimate leader servant.
You don't think of time when you're in the temple, as 3 hours went by so fast. I walked out and I felt like it was only 5 minutes I was in there.
I think going to the temple makes you a better leader servant because, for me it was a great sacrifice to come today, and I think sacrifice is part of service, part of being a leader.
I don't know of any other schools that have a temple day in the middle of the semester. I think it's a Southern Virginia tradition.
Everybody goes to law school thinking that there are these big thick books that have the law in them. Actually, what you learn in law school is not a bunch of very, very specific legal rules. What you learn in law school is a way of thinking and making arguments.
I think most people who go to law school, when they initially apply, your assumption is you're going to be a lawyer. But the training of law could be enormously helpful and valuable in another career. Law school is all about taking disparate facts and things that are sometimes very foreign to you, and being able to get your mind around them quickly to develop an argument and then be able to make a compelling argument.
You need to be really comfortable reading and analyzing difficult texts. So any kind of undergraduate education that involves reading, understanding, and analyzing a difficult book is going to be useful in law school.
Lawyers, by their very nature, are researchers. They have to research what the law is so that they can argue a particular point.
One of the most important things is to be able to be a critical thinker.
You should be able to identify the premises in an argument, understand how it is that they support a conclusion, be able to pick them apart.
And the other thing you need to know how to do is write.
Particularly the ability to write persuasive or argumentative kind of writing.
I think those are two things that Southern Virginia University stresses.
Law school professors are famous for using what's called the Socratic method. They'll pick on an unexpected student and engage in a continual round of questions. Here I came from this little school in the backwoods of Virginia. How on earth was I going to compete with these brilliant students with outstanding, prestigious educations? And I quickly learned that my education at Southern Virginia, where I received really one-on-one mentorship and teaching, more than prepared me to compete against some of the brightest students.
Being at Southern Virginia, where I had professors who would challenge me with large amounts of reading and large amounts of material, and to be able to articulate those positions back to the professor the next day was has been extremely helpful in my career as a lawyer.
There's a wide variety of students that are applying to law school from Southern Virginia and getting into law school.
We end up needing to talk about who's a professor who knows you well enough to write a really good recommendation. And I make it clear to students, you need to ask a professor, would you feel comfortable writing a positive recommendation for me? Every student that wants to get advice from a faculty advisor has their own faculty advisor.
We want to identify those students who are interested in law school, and we want to give them the best advising possible.
The ancient Roman poet Horace coined the phrase dulce et utile, which translates as sweet and useful, to describe what great literature, great art, and I would say a great education should be.
Southern Virginia is well situated to promote your intellectual growth, your social growth, and your ability to manage your time.
Professors actually know the names of all their students, and you sit in small classrooms, not big auditoriums. It is an intimate education. It's small.
If you apply to a couple schools that you're particularly strong for their student body, a couple schools that you're right on what they're thinking of in terms of GPA and LSAT, and a couple that may be a stretch, but you think they're a good fit for particular reasons and you can articulate that, you will get admitted to law school. You'll get admitted to more than one law school. And then we can talk about, well, which one of these truly is going to be the better fit for you.
When you leave, you can name all your professors and the classes they had, and they can name you. And you know all your colleagues. And you've never been in a learning situation where there's 900 people in an auditorium, and there's a lecturer up front that you've never met and who doesn't have a clue who you are. You'll never have that learning experience at Southern Virginia.
We need basic health care, and so many people obviously aren't getting it. And so I love being involved in a program where we help people have access to that.
I had no idea that there were so many people with such intense, such large problems.
People look forward to RAND. Why? Because they've been suffering with toothaches or whatever else it is, and now they have some hope to get some things taken care of.
About 80% of all of the patients who come to our events in the United States are here to get their teeth fixed or because they need a pair of glasses. Very few of the people that come to these events are here actually to see a medical doctor. But the truth of the matter is they all need to see a medical doctor because they've got all kinds of other ailments.
It's not based on where you live, how much money you make, what job you have or don't have. There's absolutely nothing you have to prove or convince anyone of before you can get care.
When I formed the organization many, many years ago, it was for the purpose of taking airborne medical teams to that part of South America, the upper Amazon. I was amazed to find that there were so many people here in America that were like those people that I grew up with in the Amazon that didn't have access to health care or couldn't afford it.
So many people, they may not be able to see, but to them that's normal. And there's no way they would be able to get that pair of glasses without ramp.
I'm disabled now. I've only been disabled for 3 months and without a job or anything. Yeah, I needed glasses, so I couldn't get them anywhere else.
There's so many people that come to RAM because they simply can't afford health care.
If uninsured people come to my emergency room, if they can't be seen for whatever reason, there's 10 other emergency rooms they can drive to. There's all sorts of resources. Out here, if the RAM clinic didn't show up, these people wouldn't have any other choices. They are literally scratching from day to day and would have to take of their substance to pay for this dental care if they went into, just went, you gotta take care of it in a private clinic.
We had a 9-year-old kid that came in and he wanted glasses. He walks out to the door of the clinic and he puts his glasses on and he looks at the things on the tree and he asks his mother, what are those things that are on that tree? That's more than any dollars anybody could ever pay for it.
I know that if I take these steps right now in my life to help people when I can and in whatever ways that I can, that will be something I can more easily continue once I leave SVU.
If people know that you are not afraid to go that extra mile to work, and they've seen you go that extra mile, they are much more inclined to do it themselves. Service should be a way of life, should just be something we do as citizens.
We're very interested at Southern Virginia University in developing the whole person.
I think we're building a tradition of character and a tradition of excellence, and we're doing it one athlete at a time.
Southern Virginia University is a place where you can be passionate about your education, committed to excellence as an athlete, and never compromise your faith.
Welcome back, everybody, to the beginning of the second half. I'm Art Furler here with Jim Bresnahan as we start the second half of Southern Virginia Knights football here at Salem Stadium. So far in a tough matchup, Southern Virginia trailing 21-7 against the Guilford Quakers. A lot of action there in the last couple of minutes of the first half. You had a better view of it than I did at that point,
Very
Jim.
tough third down play for the Knights. They had Jamal Coates open in the end zone but couldn't make the connection. And on the fourth down play, Jerry Washington, some debate whether he got in or not, but apparently, according to the refs, inches shy from getting in.
Yeah, I was down on the sideline at that point, and you probably noticed Coach Walker going out on the field to have a little conversation with the referee, and the first thing I heard out of his mouth was, well, how short were we? I guess it doesn't really matter. If you're not in, it doesn't matter if it's an inch or a
100
mile.
yards, yeah.
But
we got the stats here really quick, Art. 21-7 Guilford on top, and they have more first downs, barely. But you look at the rushing yardage, the Knights have really done a very good job shutting down the Guilford running attack. They've given up 276 passing yards, but they've only allowed 60 as far as the rushing yardage. And the Knights right now doing a pretty good job trying to hang in there. Look at the penalty yardage, though. 10 penalties for Guilford, 92 yards. 7 penalties for the Knights, 68 penalty yards. 150 total penalty yards for both teams in the first half. And again, we're only halfway done.
17 accepted penalties in the first half. So think about that for a minute. That is 1 every 2 minutes of the first half.
Just about. Yeah.
And that's just accepted. And there were certainly a fair number that were declined. I'd love to see what the total number of flags thrown were. But
another key aspect of all this, look at third down conversions for Guilford. I believe 7 of 8.
Yeah, 7 of 8 and 4 of 7. And we have to remember as well, early on in the game, the stats that we had at the end of the first quarter, both teams were perfect. I think it was 4 for 4 for Guilford and 2 for 2 for Southern Virginia. So Guilford able to hang on to that and maintain that stat. Southern Virginia trailing off a little bit there.
Individually, Mitch Stevenson was 5 of 12, but he threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, difficult times in there. Once we saw it, just kind of threw it away, was in a tough situation and put it up. But at the same time, the Knights able to get the fumble recovery down here to stop it. It could have been worse. So some big plays that have gone the way of Guilford to help them to where they are, but also Southern Virginia have stemmed that tide a little bit.
Jerry Washington running the ball, 13 carries, 63 yards. Pretty good rate per average, is 5 yards per carry, just about for Jerry Washington. Receiving, Chris Harper had 2 catches for 11 yards. Also Michael Gary, Michael Carroll, and Kyle Harris all had catches. But Matt Pulaski, the quarterback for Guilford, he was their star in the first half, 19 of 26, 276 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 2 of those to Adam Smith, who caught 5 balls for 111 yards in that first half.
Yeah, C.J. Hobbs with 5 receptions as well, a lot of them in the last drive or two. That
scary last drive, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one of those dodged bullets by the Knights, which turned into, it almost was a touchdown on this side, but it was almost 7 points going the other way.
Especially when you consider that drive started inside their own 1. Everybody's thinking, okay, they're going to try to do a quarterback sneak, avoid the safety, and they come out throwing.
And with under a minute.
Yeah,
but at the same time, with the lack of success of the run game, Guilford couldn't, because if they lost a yard and get the safety, they had to go with what was more liable, which was their passing game. And getting it down the field. So
the second half is ready to start here, Art, with Guilford kicking off to Southern Virginia. The Knights can't really think about that last series that they had where they came up inches short. They really have to think about this next series, trying to get back in this football game, only down by 14 points as we start the second half. And Wilhoit with a good return, but then he's hit and dropped. Shy of the 20, knocked down around the 17-yard line. Good kick coverage by Guilford.
Yeah, great coverage. A shorter kick that time, taken at the 5. The last couple that the Knights have fielded, taken in the end zone, but not able to get as far out on that one. This is going to be a very important first drive for Southern Virginia, though, to make a statement, to come out here and make some offense. They haven't scored since pretty early in the first quarter.
Jerry Washington's touchdown run.
Yeah, so they've got to get that offense clicking, come out here, and really get themselves established early in this
And
game.
I've got to believe Jason Walker and the coaches told the team that at halftime, don't think about that last offensive series. It's done. It's behind us, whether we got in or not. We've got to think about that first series of the second half.
Yeah, that was actually something I was down on the sideline again and saw Jerry sitting there saying he got in, and the coach just sitting down saying, hey, when the pile's that big in this scenario, you can't really tell. So let it go, move on, and we'll get there.
And Jerry gets the first carry of the second half across the 20 to the 21-yard line for a solid 4-yard gain on first down.
Well, and it goes back to how Southern Virginia started this football game with putting it on Jerry Washington's back, and again, just trying to get 3.5, 4 yards of play. And if they can get that established and just get a nice, slow, solid drive down the field, that would be huge for this Knight team.
Second down, 6 for the Knights at their own 21-yard line. Stevenson shotgun.
Loving those twin men in the backfield.
And they go to Jerry Washington again. He couldn't find anything over to the right, bounces it back to the left, and maybe picked up 2 to the 23.
Yeah, it looked like he had a bit more of a hole to the right, but certainly he saw something that I didn't. Decided to cut it back. Way to get something out of it on the play at all.
Brings up a very big third down play right off the bat for the Knights.
Yeah, very important. We'll have to see what they go to on this one. Taking a bit of a time in the huddle.
They only need 4 yards.
Running with a single back this time and trips left.
Stevenson shotgun. Play action. Wants to throw. Looking back to the right for Harris. Fires for a short man coming across. That's Harper. It's incomplete.
looking for
we got a penalty flag.
Yeah, I was going to say, he was looking at the side judge here, but he didn't have a good angle on it, but the back judge saw the hand on the back, maybe even a handful of jersey, but definitely influenced the receiver on that one.
Yeah, that last series for the Knights where they almost scored, boy, Guilford had so many pass interferences and defensive holdings. They had to have had 3 of those down the stretch.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of funny to think that there are still times in this game where there are players looking at the ref saying, come on, throw a flag, for as often as they're throwing them.
Right, yeah.
But
that's a flag. Gives the Knights a first down at their own 33.
Yeah, saves the drive and also a big yardage gain that time. So the Knights bailed out that time by Guilford.
See if the Knights go to the passing game or the ground game. It's going to be the ground game. A little running play over the left side, and the Knights end up picking up about 4 or 5 yards as on that time Lakeith Hopkins made the carry. Lakeith, of course, Lynchburg native, and he was able to pick up 4 yards. Came from VUL, I believe, transferred over. And he's got some athletic talent.
Yeah, good play on that one, too. You saw, again, his jersey got grabbed early on. The guy trying to bring him down, but just, obviously not holding when the guy's got the ball, but able to break that tackle and get another few yards. Great effort by him.
And he picked up 4, so it's 2nd and 6. Leviste is in motion. Handoff up the middle. Knights maybe got 1 or 2 yards on that carry. Not much. Up to the 38-yard line. It's going to leave them looking at a 3rd and about 5, and another big 3rd down play coming up for the Knights.
Yeah, long stretch for them to go this time, and still yet to see them go to the air game, except for the one, of course, which ended in a pass interference.
Yep.
But with 3rd and 5, again, the question raises, do we want to stick with this and try to pound it on the ground, considering they've only gotten 2 or 3 apiece on the last one, try to break it big here, or whether you go to the air and try to get it that way?
And they have several good possession-type receivers out there right now, in Kyler Harris and Chris Harper.
Yeah, Harris checking in on this play. We'll see what they go with.
And they're going to go slant, and it's intercepted. The slant was well covered, and the pass is picked off. It is intercepted by Jamario Gooch. They were trying the slant pattern to Harris, and he was well guarded, and that's almost a play you just got to eat the football and not throw it.
Yep.
And that was a big interception. That's the 3rd interception against the Knights tonight.
Yeah, and those kill drives, mainly not just because it's the turnover, but it's that confidence. If somebody fumbles it, then that's a lot of times that's something unexpected physically or not tucking it, something like that. But when it's all on the back of the quarterback, knowing that he threw that pick, that can really get in your head.
Especially, Art, when it's on your side of the 50.
Yeah, well, and Tyler Eller, the defensive lineman, got up and immediately started jawing a bit too. So that certainly doesn't help the situation.
21-7 is your score. Guilford on top, and they've got a first down and 10 at the Knights 39. They're going to go to the passing game.
5 wideouts. They've been running it.
Fires over the middle, and it's incomplete. And that one was off the fingertips of Hobbs and a little too tall for him, and he was open. In fact, Pulaski has at times came in averaging about 73% as far as completions, and at times he's been able to miss wide open receivers.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's almost like he throws better when he's rolling off a defensive lineman off balance trying to find something, because when it's right there, he's struggled several times tonight.
Brings up 2nd and 10, and Pulaski will go from the shotgun. It's going to be a draw play to Scow, the running back. Picked up short yardage, got it inside the 36, down to the 35. Gain of almost 4, brings up 3rd down, 6 to go for Guilford.
Yeah, good push by the Guilford offensive line that time, able to move that pile and drive it forward for the yardage they were able to get. Looks like they'll spot it right on the 35.
This could well be 4-down territory overall for the Guilford Quakers. They have to get to the 29 of the Knights to get a first down.
Could be. Saw their kicker at halftime warming up a little bit. He's got a bit of a leg on him. Got to wonder what his range is as well.
Thompson in motion. 3 receivers over to the right now. They send the running back. Smith back over to the left. And Pulaski is chased, and Eisenhower got him.
There you go.
His knee goes down. The ball pops loose, and it's recovered by a Guilford lineman back at the 50-yard line. How about Bruce Eisenhower with the sack?
Oh, if he's getting a sack, you got to call him Bubba.
There you go.
when he gets that kind of penetration back there, the Knights have been looking for that sack all game. Again, as I was down on the sideline, I heard Coulter Evans saying, we can get this guy. We're getting the rush through. We bring
they were
one
getting
more.
close, and they finally did it.
Yeah, just saying, we can get him. And in that scenario, they're able to do just that. Looks like the sticks on the sideline showing first down, but pretty sure it's 4th and 18.
In fact, it's going to be a punt coming up. So after the interception, the Knights defense rises to the occasion, keeps this a 14-point game. And Harper, fair catching that ball, makes the grab at the 6, and the Knights are not going to have the greatest field position, but after the interception, the defense has gotten the ball back for the offense. Now, Art, it's just a matter of the offense trying to maybe get some first downs here.
Yeah, it really interested me talking to Coach Walker in that interview at halftime where he said he was happy with his offense moving the ball, but unhappy with the defense making mental mistakes. Because it seems to me like it's the defense that's really struggled a little bit, the offense that's kind of struggled a little bit, and the defense that's been getting the ball back, hanging in, and keeping them in this ball game.
Yeah, I know the Knights defense have had, as we mentioned in the first half, some big breakdowns, which allowed big plays, but, 80, 75%, 80%, they've been playing pretty well.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and especially considering they've been on the field so much. I mean, when you throw 3 picks, so your defense, that's the kind of thing you can't plan for. It's just immediately you got to get back up and get in there. I think they've done very, very well tonight.
Okay, here we go. 6-yard line is where the Knights will start this drive. And they're going to go play action. They're going to try to go deep for Harris. Harris is out there, and he's got it. And he dropped it. Couldn't hang on at the 47-yard line. I thought he had it for a second, but as he was going to the ground, I couldn't tell if the ground knocked the ball loose or the receiver or the defender was able to pull it loose. I think the defender got a hand on it and just ripped it loose before Harris actually hit the ground.
Yeah, tough to see. Again, a bit of contact, but in that situation, it's a little different because the defender's looking back. He's
a well-thrown ball by Mitch.
Yeah, really was. But also, you got to give credit to the Guilford defense. Well covered that time. That was a 50-50 ball that nobody ends up coming up with.
Well, that would have been a big play for this Knights offense if they'd have hit that one.
Oh, absolutely. Both for the confidence of Mitch Stevenson, but also to gain that many yards to get that drive going.
And now it is 2nd and 10 at the 7-yard line. And play action again by Mitch Stevenson. He's got all day in the world to look. No, he's going to run the football over to Washington. Washington gets up at the 10-yard line. And we've got a late flag.
And that is going to be a personal foul. There was a lot of aggression
Could be
after
a real
the play
big gift if it's on the Guilford Quakers, who have had a lot of big penalties here recently.
Yeah, it's going to be a dead ball foul.
Personal foul against the Quakers.
Unsportsmanlike conduct. Yep, threw him into the ground well after the play was over.
Just, I'm sure that does not please the Guilford coaching staff when they had maybe looking at a 3rd and 7, and the ball would have been around the 10-yard line or so. Instead, they've just handed Southern Virginia a big first down.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Knights have had a few of those tonight that they've been unable to capitalize on. They've got to take a gift like that and really do something with it. They've got it saved the drive. It gave them some yards, and as odd as it may sound, it even gives them a little bit of momentum just to know that it keeps it going, it keeps the drive alive, and hopefully they can take this and capitalize on it.
Moves it away from the end zone a little bit, out to the 24-yard line, so it's 1st and 10 Knights. Ground game. It's Washington up the
great
middle.
Cut.
And he's across the 35, 40, and all the way to the 41, almost the 42-yard line. Another first down for the Knights.
Boy, what a great run that time by Washington, keeping his hips low, just turning on a dime, cutting in and out, able to find a great path and just pick up a lot of yards after that first contact.
And Jerry's going to come out of the game and be replaced by Lakeith Hopkins. So, again, the sophomore, maybe the heir apparent, do a lot of the running in the next couple of years when Jerry leaves.
Yeah, but don't say Jerry leaves. Come on now. You can't do that to us yet. There's a lot of games.
Oh, yeah, a whole season to go.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that, I think, on November the 15th, Senior Day.
Absolutely.
Here we go. 1st and 10 Knights, 42-yard line. Stevenson looks right, throws left, and it is incomplete. Another
flag.
Pass interference.
Got caught up in each other that time. You're going to, again, tough to see from here. Could have been offensive. Typically, they call that on the defense, though, when it's a 50-50 like that. And we'll see.
Yeah, the Knights waiting.
Yep,
It's going to go against Guilford.
So
Herring was the intended receiver.
As
you mentioned, Art, it really was close. Could have gone either way. Luckily for the Knights, it goes against the Quakers.
Yeah, well, and again, what we can see from up here in the press box is one thing. With the refs see down there on the field, it may not have been as close as it looked from here, but either way, this drive has has been crazy. The Knights have benefited from, I would say, probably 30 yards between those two plays.
This drive started at the 6 of Southern Virginia, now the 43 of the Quakers.
And half the way given on penalties.
And it's going to be Lakeith Hopkins on the run. He's got a lot of yardage. He's to the 30. Now more flags pour in. This could well be a blocking penalty, you would think, as it was a good gain all the way to the 29 for 14 yards, but it looks like it may come back if it's a blocking penalty against the Knights, obviously.
Interesting for it to be a block, to have it come in from the back judge as well as from the
just a guess on my part.
Oh.
And again, there were 3 flags, so who knows? We might have multitude of penalties. It is a hold on Southern Virginia.
Yep, so the ref giveth and the ref taketh away.
In addition to playing football, did you major in literature?
I did not, but I minored in creative writing.
Okay, there you go.
At Southern Virginia University.
Well, that penalty moves the ball back out to midfield at the 50.
Yeah, so 30 yards.
They're picking up right where they left off at halftime.
Yep.
The referees are.
30 yards in penalties in favor of the Knights. Now they drop back. Looks like they'll lose 7 on that one.
There was 150 total yards of penalties in the first half between these two teams.
It's keeping pace to have a good solid 300 for this game.
Now it is going to be 1st and 17 for the Knights. Here comes pressure. Stevenson wants to throw. He aims to the right side, but he's going to throw an interception. Nope, it bounces off the hands of the defender. He was trying to get Killstrom, but he was throwing in the double coverage. And Satir Stevenson had a great shot and an interception down around the 10 or 15 yard line, Art, but
he seemed
just a little too tall for him.
He seemed a little disappointed.
Extremely disappointed.
Great block in the backfield that time, though. You got to love when a running back can step up and block for your quarterback, and that's exactly what happened here, giving Mitch Stevenson even the chance to make that throw.
Kind of surprised they were really going deep. I thought, maybe across the middle of the field, try to pick up some of this yardage back after the penalty.
Yeah, apparently not. I guess they're thinking that's what Guilford was expecting as well, trying to catch him off guard.
So now it's 2nd and 17, the ball to 50. Stevenson from the shotgun. Looks to throw, looking for an open receiver. May have to scramble for it. Scrambles to the left. Another flag down.
Yeah, there's a flag back here.
Incomplete pass.
And that one's coming in from well out. I mean, I'm guessing it's contact.
I'm serious. I'm not sure I can recall a game with this many penalties. It's almost like every 3rd play or every 4th play. Not sure it really averages out to every play or every 2nd play. But
is it Mardi Gras season? They're just throwing this stuff all over the place. My goodness. So we'll have to see what this flag is. Again, thrown well back in the secondary. Typically, you're going to see that,
hold against. This is a defensive holding against Guilford.
Yeah, so in that scenario, it's holding. Since it's in the secondary, it looked like it was holding by a defensive back on a receiver, but before the ball was thrown, which is why it's not pass interference, not throwing the ball to him. Gives him 10 yards, but more importantly, gives him that first down.
Yeah, 40-yard line.
So on this drive, that's a total of 50 yards in penalties, and the ball's only moved,
Well, it's moved from the 6 to the 40.
Yeah, so a net of 50-some yards.
And it's first down Knights at the Guilford 40-yard line. And Jerry Washington has a good
Big
gain.
gap.
35-30, 10-yard gain. Should be another first down.
Great job again by the offensive line. I praised Jerry Washington earlier for his ability to cut and get through close gaps. That time he didn't have to. As soon as he touched that ball, there was open field on that left-hand side, able to take full advantage of that and go straight from first down to first down.
Well, Art, this would be huge if the Knights can get this ball in the end zone, get points because they haven't scored for a while, and get back within 7 points.
Absolutely. The mentality of being down 2 scores to being down 1, especially as you said, with scoring now after you've gone through such a drought of it, almost, actually more than 2 quarters at this point would be huge.
And let's see, it's going to be Jerry Washington up the middle, short gain this time, down to the 28, picked up 2.
Yep, couple that time, nothing huge, but it's just giving him opportunities because Washington, when you give him the ball, if he's got any room at all, he's going to find those gaps that he can cut through and make a play out of it. That time, able to just get a couple, but we've seen so far tonight, it's just keep giving him those opportunities, and he'll make the other team pay.
This drive has really kept the Guilford offense off the field, but I know Coach Walker wants points out of this, down by 14 points. Right now, 21-7 is your score. Guilford on top.
Yeah, moral victory is now what the Knights need right now. They need points on that scoreboard.
Second down, 8 to go. Play action. They look over the middle for Harris. They throw back to the right for the tight end, Carroll, who makes the grab at the 3-yard line.
Beautiful adjustment by the receiver. That is so difficult to do, again, especially as a tight end, to look back, make that adjustment over the defender, secure the ball, especially since the secondary tonight for Guilford has ripped a few out on those big ones, to hang on to that, get your feet in bounds. Huge gain that time, and Southern Virginia first and goal now from looks like the 3-yard line.
Canaveri is in there as another tight end. Double tight end. Looks like a running play may be coming up here.
Well, and smash mouth football, Southern Virginia
Coates
running
also
game.
walking back.
Definitely, this is a great opportunity for them to just pound it in.
Yep, Jerry Washington right side, and he slips a couple of defenders and got down to the 2.
Yeah, maybe a yard on that.
Brings up second and goal, 2 yards away. This one you've got to put in the end zone.
Oh, absolutely. Especially if you put it in this time, the play right before the half is forgotten because you were in the situation again.
Unless, of course, you lose the game by 7 points.
Hey. We've talked about jinxing things before.
But I'll tell you, this would also give them a lot of momentum.
Yeah.
In addition to pulling them within 7 points.
Well, sure, and that's what I'm saying. So that play before the half is forgotten because the next time you're in that situation, you punch it in. But if not, it just amplifies that inability to close it out in the red zone.
2 yards away. Stevenson on an option. He wanted to pitch the ball, but he couldn't do it. And he's gang tackled back at the 3. Going to lose a yard or two. They'll mark him down at the 3. They wanted to do the option, but the pitch wasn't there. Washington, the pitch man, was covered, and Stevenson, the quarterback, had to eat the football, and he ate it at the 3-yard line. And now it is third and goal at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, lost his hat, too. So by rule, I believe he's got to come out for a play, does he not? Pretty sure that's
so.
Pretty sure that's the way it works. So sub going in for him, and a couple of changes on the defense as well for Guilford.
Looks like Brian Phillips is going to check in, freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, a quarterback. So now it's third and goal from 3 yards away. What do you expect here, a pass or a run with the replacement quarterback in there?
Yeah, with a fresh quarterback, I would not run.
And
or I would
a little
not pass
confusion
the ball.
out there. Jerry Washington lining up to the left, now switching back to the right. And it's going to be the quarterback running the football, and he is down at the 1. There's another penalty flag.
Look, who knew there was a flag?
Boy, you just got to hope this is not a hold or anything of that nature.
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like it may go against the Knights.
And it's holding.
Oh, boy, that's a big penalty. They're going to move you out to around past the 10-yard line. They'll stay third down.
Well, see, here's the thing. On the downside, it moves us back past the 10-yard line. On the upside, we've been able to move the ball with the running game really well, except within the 10. So
that's right.
It really might. I mean, you really don't run a goal line defense on the 11, so it may end up cutting in our favor, depending on what they can pull off. I don't know.
Mitch Stevenson, of course, will go back in there at quarterback, and now it's just a matter of whether they can complete a pass after they move the penalty yardage off, mark it off, and move the football out to around the 13-yard line. So now it is third and goal from the 13-yard line.
Yeah, we'll have to see. The Knights trying to dial something up this time. 3rd and 14 is a tough pill to swallow when you started at 1st and goal on the 3.
Knights do not want to come up empty on a second trip near the goal line.
No, especially considering what happened again before the half, both with the emotion of it, but also because they saw the ability of the Quakers to drive that ball down the field when you pin him back.
Stevenson to throw. He's got time. He looks in the middle of the field, fires into the end zone for Carroll, but he's out of bounds, and he stepped out of bounds before the pass was pulled in. He put his foot on the sidelines, then went back into the field to play to make the catch, and he did make the catch.
Yep.
But as soon as he stepped out of bounds, the referee threw his hat, signaling he could not make the catch. Now it is 4th down.
Hate to say it, it was a great call by the ref, though. It was a good spot.
There is a flag down, though.
Oh.
You missed it.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk?
And it is personal foul, roughing the passer on Guilford.
Oh, my goodness. Just when it looks like.
So it's a first down for the Knights.
So on this drive, we have had a personal foul, a second personal foul now for roughing the passer, and a unnecessary roughness. There have been 45 yards of this 94-yard drive, assuming they get to the end zone, that have been gifted by Guilford. You have to put this ball in the end zone.
Almost seems like this drive has taken, about a half hour?
Probably so. I mean, it was a quick first drive by Southern Virginia. It was a quick first drive by the Quakers, and the entire rest of this quarter has been absorbed by this one very long, very penalty-ridden drive.
First and goal now at the 6. Stevenson hands off Jerry Washington. He is hit in the backfield and dropped for about a 4 to 5 yard loss. It'll be back to the 11, a 5-yard loss that time, and it brings up second and goal from the 11. As you mentioned, Art, they've had a tough time running the football inside the 10.
Yeah, I would love to see the play chart on this, because it was 1st and 3, and then it was 2nd and 2, and then it was 3rd and 7. It gets a little closer and a little farther away, and with the penalties, it just extends. We've run 10 plays within the 20-yard line in the last just in this drive.
Now the ball's back to the 11, and now it is second and goal from the 11, and the Knights are going to have to probably throw this ball to get in the end zone.
And again, it's really discouraging to run that many plays so close. If you don't get in, the Knights
Stevenson throws over the middle for Carroll. He's got a touchdown.
Oh my goodness. Carroll has had such an amazing game. Soft hands going up for that one. That man does not look like a tight end.
No, he does not.
He is just making plays tonight for the Knights. And just as I said, they have got to get something out of this. Luckily, they do. Beautiful play that time. The Knights now down 13-21. Chance to make it 14 here and down 1 score. What a big confidence boost for this Knights offense.
And Phelps with the extra point try to make it a 7-point ball game. Kick is on its way, and it hits the upright and deflects off, so it is no good. And the score stays at 21-13. Looking for a penalty flag, and there is one now.
I was not saying a word. I was like, there's got to be a penalty. There's always a penalty. And I was about to make that joke, and then it became real.
Let's see what this call's all about. After the missed extra point.
I don't know. It looked like some of the Guilford guys may have propelled or jumped off of each other. There's some real height, some real collapsing of that line. That's the only thing I can think of, but I'm not sure.
Offsides, I think, is the call. It's going to be a chance for the Knights to re-kick. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call.
So jumping off another player, that's correct.
No question, you got it.
Hey, what do you know? Every once in a while. Even a blind dog finds bone every once in a while. Trust me, I have.
Well, it would have been safe if you just said, I expect there's going to be a penalty on this play.
Yeah, there you go.
So the Knights will have another shot at the extra point, trying to get within 7. Here's the kick. On its way. Perfect this time. Up and through. No, they're going to say no good. Off to the right, apparently.
And even after the second chance, and again, talking about getting in your own head and being demoralized as a kicker, having that first one go off the upright and getting the second opportunity and then that one not going in
He hit it cleanly, but it looked like it just went off to the right. Yeah. And that's an important miss. Art is now the lead is 21-13, and the Knights have a chance, but they're only down by 8 now. But again, that was a crucial extra point that was missed right there.
Could have been, but again, it's still 1 score, so they can go for 2 on the next one if they need to. Yeah. And just to get in the end zone, I mean, after the comedy of errors that drive was from both sides, just huge to get in the end zone, make some progress, get it to 1 score, and take up a lot of time. Because as we mentioned before, this is a explosive offense from the Quakers that have scored 52 in their first 2 games.
They kept the Quakers off for 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe off the field.
And gave their
maybe 30 minutes total.
Yeah, gave their defense a little bit of time as well to rest and come back. So certainly now with only 21 points with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, worst case scenario, they're on really good pace to limit that offense that Guilford has had so far this season.
And they've got a great chance here, the way the defense is playing, to really hold down Guilford. Guilford came in again averaging 52 points a game in their first 2 games. They had scored 104 in 2 games. They've got their 21 on the board at halftime and haven't had many opportunities here in the third quarter just yet.
Yeah, we'll see how they do this time. The Knights again with a high, relatively short kick fielded at the 9.
And Guilford brings it back across the 20, and a great play by the Knights to stop it right there.
And shut down in the backfield. My goodness.
Matt Gregory, I think that was.
Yes, it was. Defensive back and senior leader of this team.
Boy, you talk about a hard hitter.
Yeah. He came in there and just lit the Guilford receiver up.
Almost as much as that first half hit we were talking right before halftime. Nathan Barrett, I think, did that one.
Yeah, it's funny. Again, that's when I was down at the sideline, so I couldn't see. There's a bunch of players in front of me. I'm walking over, unable to see the game, and I just hear this pop, and everybody go, ooh! I'm really excited to look back at the film and see that one.
First down, Guilford, 22-yard line. They go to the running play, and this is Scow's best run of the night, I think. He got up to the 30 for an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, certainly one of the most successful. That time running a bit of an off tackle. It's first I think we've seen of that where he takes a hard angle. Typically it's just been trying to find gaps in the middle. That time taking a little bit more of an angle to it. And kind of a hurry-up offense almost.
Well, Guilford hasn't been out there for a while for their offense. Second down, 2 to go. Pulaski wants to throw to the right. Nothing there. Now he fires upfield, and it is intercepted by the Knights. Penalty flag is thrown. It was picked up by the Knights. Barrett, I think, got it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what that
there
flag
is a flag down.
Again, this is a huge moment.
You wonder if this is going to be defensive pass interference against the Knights. Barrett had the interception, but maybe one of the defenders, they're going to say, was holding on to the receiver. Let's see.
Will he? What a huge momentum shift. Penalties just playing such a major role in the game tonight.
Instead of the interception and the Knights with the ball on the Quakers side of the 50, the Quakers get the penalty and they get a first down out of it.
And the sad thing is it's unnecessary.
Right.
Because he had coverage behind. They've just been beaten so many times tonight. Felt like he needed it, but there was the safety there to roll up. Again, even if the man got behind him and we didn't get the pick, would have broken up the play.
So it's first down Guilford at the Quakers 40. 21-13 your score right now. Guilford by 8. Pulaski wants to throw. He fires, and he's got his receiver Woodruff at the 50, spun backwards. Well, let's see where they'll mark him around the 49-yard line of Guilford, about a 9-yard pickup.
Yeah, just short of the first down, but again, the offensive coordinator's dream here, 2nd and 1. They can throw anything they want. You want to take a deep shot, now's the perfect time to do it because you've always got 3rd down to clean up and get the first. So we'll have to see whether they go for a shot. Now, this is the formation. They've only run once tonight, and it was a run play. We'll see if it's not a change-up this time to a pass.
Second down and short, 2nd and 1, and it's going to be a running play. Scow's going to get the ball, and he gets the first down across the 50 into Knights territory at the 48, picked up 3.
See, I'm confused by that because, again, the Knights have seen that exact play, and it's the only one they've run out of that formation. So certainly the defense would have recognized it and thought that where it was going. I'm not sure why, again, on 2nd and 1, you don't take a shot.
Right.
But
the Quakers pick up the first down and have a first down at the Knights 48.
Yeah, can't fault them. At least they got the first down. And that formation again.
See if they run it this time again with Scow. Yep, they do.
Oh.
And they knock him down in the backfield. He spins free, gets to the 50, and is knocked down to the 49, so he ends up losing about a yard. He could have easily lost 3 or 4.
Yeah, that play was absolutely blown up by Southern Virginia's defensive line, just pushing the O-line into the backfield, giving them no opportunity to get around that outside and find the edge.
Knights have a lot of stars also on that defensive line, Art. They have been playing pretty well all game long. They just really, I don't think they have a sack, though, of Pulaski in the ball game just yet.
They got him that one time.
That's right,
so
yeah.
They do have one. But
that was Eisenhower's, yeah.
Yep. They've been working hard, but not seeing the numbers for it, but certainly seeing the results.
A lot of near misses. 2nd down, 11 to go here. 49-yard line of SVU for the Quakers. And Pulaski back to throw. Pressure. Hit, and he's dropped. There's another big sack by the Knights.
Speaking of sacks, we dialed that one up very well. Southern Virginia getting at him with 2 different men.
Will Brady was there, I believe.
Zach Englert, I think, was the other one.
Yeah.
They just got in and blew that up.
Knocked him backwards, and it's going to end up being about a 7-yard loss back to the 44-yard line of Guilford. And now it turns into 3rd and long. From Guilford's 44, they have to get to the Knights' 38, so it's going to bring up 3rd down, about 18 to go for Guilford.
As we mentioned at the half, though, Guilford very, very good on 3rd down so far tonight. Of course, this one, a difficult one, 3rd and very long. but go into that 4 wideout scenario that's been plaguing the Knights tonight.
Knights showing blitz. Pulaski is forced backwards, chased out of the pocket, wants to throw on the run, fires, wide open. It's Thompson, makes the catch at the 20-yard line, and he got in behind the secondary and goes down at the 12 of Southern Virginia.
So the big issue that time is the Knights see him on the run, see him scrambling, and they fear the scramble more than they fear the pass.
Right.
And they cannot do that. It's happened to them more than once tonight already. You have to keep your containment. Force him to run. You've got people chasing him. As soon as he passes that line of scrimmage, great. Then you can sell out, come up, and make that tackle. But until he does, you have to keep on those receivers. The secondary did a great job for the first 5 seconds of that play, but after that, fell apart.
Now Scow with the running play to the left side. He picked up 2 down to the 11. From the 13 down to the 11 to make it second down. 8 coming up for Guilford at the 11-yard line. Clock ticking down here in the third quarter. We're down to 22 seconds on the clock.
Yep.
21-13 Guilford.
Yeah, plenty of time on the play clock, and looks like Guilford may be letting it run. Frankly, a compliment to the Knights, considering, again, the high-powered offense that Guilford has, to be letting this go. Maybe they'll get it off. 4 seconds, and
nope.
No.
Guilford's going to let it run out. So 3/4 is in the book, and it is Guilford 21 and the Knights of Southern Virginia 13.
Yes, I think that quarter's a win for Southern Virginia, especially after that long, extended drive that looked like it was going to die, and then it was gifted back to them through penalties with Guilford. And then it looked like it was going to die again, and Guilford kept them alive. And then it looked like they were going to score, and they gave it back to Guilford. It was both teams looking like they didn't particularly want to achieve what you think would be their goal, the defense getting the ball back, the offense scoring. But after that,
Knights actually, they accomplished what they wanted in that third quarter. Guilford did not score any points. They kept them off the board. They got a touchdown. Obviously, they would have liked to have had that extra point. But then, obviously, in that last pass play where they hit Thompson for the open pass play, that gets them deep into Southern Virginia territory. Now it's up to the Knights defense here to start the fourth quarter to really shut them down and not allow any more points.
Yeah, well, unless we forget, there was that big play to start the second quarter, the Knights getting the fumble down here when it looked like it was a sure touchdown that was coming in from Guilford, able to hang in there and pull it off. We'll see if the defense can come up big to start this fourth quarter as well. But either way, like you said, they were able to close that gap a little bit, keep them within striking distance, and give themselves an opportunity to win now heading into the fourth quarter.
Well, you brought up earlier the point about not seeking moral victories, and I know this is a dynamite team, Guilford, a team that beat Methodist by 32 last week, but I know Coach Jason Walker will be the first to tell you we want to win this ballgame, not just come close.
Sure, and that doesn't mean that if they don't win, they can't take a lot of good things away from it, but certainly the W means a lot more than a lot of other things.
As we start this fourth quarter, 21-13, Guilford on top. Second down, 9 to go. Scow gets the carry, bounces off a couple of tackles, and gets down to the 5-yard line within 2 yards of the first down marker. So he picked up about 7, and it brings up 3rd and 2 for Guilford at the 5-yard line of Southern Virginia.
Yeah, and the thing is, it looks like the Knight defense is really committing themselves one way or the other to stop the run or to stop the pass. And that time, it looked like they were expecting the pass. They were coming back just a little bit. They didn't get a big push into the backfield, and as a result, the run able to
here's that double receiver formation, which they usually run out.
Yeah, yet to see a pass from it.
Scow up the middle, and he dives down to the 2. It looks like he's got a first down.
Yeah. And that's the thing. He didn't get in the end zone, but he didn't need to. He got enough to get the first down. So first and goal, I expect from 2 or 3 yard line. Either way, very, very close and a very good situation. Except, again, the Guilford squad has had a tough time running the football tonight, especially in close yardage situations as well. And it's a lot easier to play pass defense when you know if they go farther than 12 yards, they're out of bounds. I don't care anymore. So it's a lot shorter formation for them.
First and goal, Guilford, 2-yard line of Southern Virginia. 21-13. Quakers on top by 8. Pulaski on a blitz throws over to Thompson, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown.
That would be the second time tonight that running that corner blitz has burned Southern Virginia. Came off that time, well, I should say blitz coming out of the secondary. Gave up a man, tried to get the rush on and make the big play, but unfortunately leaves a man open, and that's the way it can burn you.
Extra point try coming up for the Quakers as they extend their lead now to 27-13. Clock becomes a factor as the extra point try is up and good. 28-13, 13:57 to go in the football game. And Art, now the Knights have the clock to worry about. 13:57 to go. Now they're down by 15. Still 2 scores, but they've really got to produce some offense on their next series to try to narrow that gap again.
You're right. So the 2-score situation is okay as long as you answer right now. So you can go from 2-1, and again, just it's all about giving yourself that opportunity, keeping the gap close enough so that your defense can come up with a big play and win it for you. They can't go down 3. It's too late in the game to go down 3 scores, so they have to respond now. They did on the last play. Hopefully have a little bit of momentum coming from getting that play in. But now, again, it's go time.
And what they really want to hear is maybe a great kickoff return by Wilhoit.
Yeah, and he's got the ability. He's had some big ones tonight. He's had some really big ones taken back by penalties. But he's had enough practice tonight doing
That's
it.
what we haven't seen in a while, a penalty flag.
Oh, yeah. Where did those go? So we'll see on this kickoff. But a very strong kicker for Guilford, able to kick it back deep. We'll see what they can do.
And he nails it. Down to Wilhoit at the goal line, and he's going to run it out and go to the 10, and he looks to the right side. He's got some room out there, 30-yard line, 35. Good return all the way out to around the 38-yard line.
Boy, and, if this game is lost, and I hate to say it, if it's lost by the Southern Virginia offense, because the special teams have been great, both from the kickoff and kick return perspective. They've been pinning the Quakers back deep. They've been getting them great field position. The defense has been out there a lot, but has really just hung in. Couple of blown plays, I understand, but they've really hung in there. It's this offense that has to get going and can't rely on those penalties coming from Guilford. Luckily, they've been able to so far because you can rely on things that are consistent, and if there's been anything consistent tonight, it's the throwing of flags. But they've got to get out there and earn something on their own to get this gap closed.
Still plenty of time to go in this football game as they go to the ground game. Jerry Washington starts to the left, cuts it back to the right, and gets across the 40. He's up to around the 41 for a gain of 3.
Yeah, and certainly that's what this drive needs, at least early on, is a healthy dose of Jerry Washington, just getting those 3 or 4 yards. But the problem is you can't go with just that, because if you do, the defense adjusts to it. Got to mix it up, but certainly, speaking of mixing it up,
Stevenson fires a pass to Washington, who somehow grabs that pass and gets across the 50 to the 49. First down at the Guilford 49-yard line.
It's interesting. I think that's the first screen pass that we've seen from the Knights tonight.
I think so.
Which I don't understand because it's been so successful for Guilford, and the run game's been successful, and running men out of the backfield.
And when Jerry Washington catches that ball on open field, he's dangerous.
Oh, yeah. If he gets one-on-one coverage, forget about it, because once he gets that ball, it's going to take more than one to bring him down.
Ball at the 49-yard line of Guilford. 1st and 10 Knights. Washington on the carry. Right side, another good gain. Down to the 45. He picked up about 4 on that play, and it's going to bring up 2nd down. 6 to go. Knights, 45 of Guilford.
Nice ground and pound again. The Knights keeping the drive alive, just moving the chains nice and slow. They don't need to move quickly. Again, you can get concerned when you're down 2 scores and you're in the 4th quarter, but the Knights don't need to hurry. Just stay the course. Keep moving that ball down the field.
2nd and 6. Stevenson play action, looking over the middle, firing for Carroll. Out there, got it. 15, down to the 12, and down to the 11, and maybe even the 10-yard line. Another great catch by Michael Carroll, the tight end. And how about that pass right on the money from Mitch Stevenson?
Beautiful ball by Mitch Stevenson, but my goodness.
Carroll suddenly become the deep threat.
Carroll, who is this guy? Like, he's lighting it up tonight. I'm starting to think he's related to Graham from the Saints, who's out here as the premier receiver.
Yeah, Jimmy Graham.
Tight end. My goodness. If he catches this one and spikes it over the goalpost, I'm going to go down there and take a look at him.
Carroll, by the way, a junior from Texas, 6'5", 185 pounds. Handoff to Jerry Washington, stays on his feet, gets inside the 5, and he got down to the 4, and he's knocked off his feet right there, but he picked up about 6.
That was an amazing run by Washington where he gets hit early, and instead of going down, he puts the hand on the ground and just starts galloping forward for every single yard. He remembers the last time he was right there, he was denied getting in this end zone, and he does not want to let that happen again.
So now it is 2nd and goal for the Knights at the 4 of Guilford.
Once again, big opportunity. The Knights have to get points out of this.
Let's see if they go on the ground. Play action. Stevenson throws. He got a man at the 1-yard line. It's Coates, and he's down at the 1. He had to dive for the football. Otherwise, it's an easy touchdown, but he made a great catch.
Yeah.
And Stevenson, to avoid the sack, to get rid of that ball at the last second, to get it down to the 1-yard line, and now the Knights maybe can take a shot at the ground game here.
Yeah, great catch, great throw. After that play action, the immediate turnaround, and you have to imagine Mitch Stevenson's face as he's got 2 or 3 guys blitzing through that line right at him to keep his cool, especially after throwing 3 picks tonight. Quick look over there, throw it off to his hot read, and make a completion.
Let's see if they're going to go to Jerry Washington. Jerry gets the carry to the goal line, and there's another penalty flag down as Washington apparently did not get in.
And this penalty, again, huge.
If it's some sort of procedure or motion penalty or anything of that against the Knights, you would imagine Guilford will take it and back them up 5 yards as opposed to 4th and goal from the 1. See what the call is here. Offsides is the call on Guilford.
Ooh.
Don't get much closer to the goal line, but it does preserve 3rd down.
Yeah. Give him another shot at it.
Have 3rd down, maybe inches away from the goal line now. Well, the Knights have had a hard time running this football in here from inside the 5 with Jerry Washington. So what do they do on 3rd and goal from inches away here, Art?
I don't know. I mean, there's the quarterback keeper. The offense has had a great push tonight. So there is that opportunity if they can get a good, hard rush, especially if give a good, hard count. Make them think about jumping, especially after the offside.
Stevenson hands off to Washington to the end zone, and it is a touchdown.
There we go. Spun around that time, but Washington with the presence of mind to fall backwards into that end zone and connect. 19-28 now. The Knights, the question is, at this point, I assume you go for 1. That way you keep it in, because if you go for 2 and you miss it, you're already down 2 scores.
There's sooner or later you're going to have to go for 2, but you need this extra point right here. And so Phelps is in to try to make it an 8-point ball game. Right now it's a 9-point game at 28-19.
Yeah, missed the last 2. Really need this one.
Extra point try on the way. It is up. And it is good. With 10:34 to go, it is now 28-20.
Yeah, great job that time. Phelps, again, the very difficult job of having missed the extra point over here. Came back because of a penalty, had the opportunity a second time, still missed it, but not letting that shake his confidence, coming down here, and when they need it, icing it.
And what an impressive drive by the Knights.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Carroll, what more can you say? He has had a phenomenal game. It has been the Carroll and Washington show.
That last catch over the shoulder, too. So.
Oh, my goodness. Very, very impressive. He would have had an impressive night if he were an X or a Y, if he were a standard slot receiver.
Right, yeah.
But to have as many beautiful catches as he's had as a tight end makes it even more impressive.
Knights have had some good tight ends over the years.
Oh, absolutely. That's very, very true. And especially it really helps your quarterback when you've got guys that make big plays like that. It's just completions for him, building that confidence. Again, he's had 3 picks tonight. It's easy to be shaken. But when your receivers make big plays like that and help you out, it does all the good in the world.
Here we go. Kickoff time for the Knights. They'll boot it deep down around the 15-yard line. Going to be fielded there by Guilford. They're going to do a little reverse on the running play on the kickoff return. It's going to be Hobbs, and he doesn't go much of anywhere. He's wrestled down at the 22-yard line. Credit the Knights special teams for not allowing that play.
Yeah, I'm not sure they didn't lose a couple of yards off of that, as if he would have just gone straight up the sideline on this side.
Certainly didn't gain anything, that's for sure.
Yeah, but the Knights have just been so good. I assume they ran that because they've been so ineffective on kick returns tonight.
Yep.
They try something tricky, try to find another way to get yards, and that doesn't work either. Such an impressive job by Southern Virginia's special teams tonight.
28-20 is your score. 10:27 to go in the football game. Knights showing blitz. And they have come across the line.
Yep.
As they fire a pass out there to the left. It's incomplete, but it's going to be offsides, I'm sure, on the Knights.
Yep.
They were going to go with the blitz, but the defender stepped across early.
Yep, definitely offsides. I didn't see motion, So looks like it will be against the Knights.
5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 5. Well, if you're the Knights defense right now, obviously you've got to get the ball back for the offense. At this stage of the football game, if you allow one more touchdown, then it's a 2-score game again, and it's probably going to be down around 5 minutes left.
Yeah, well, it depends, because we've really seen some quick strikes from Guilford, so 2 scores is not terrible if there's a lot of time on the clock left, but obviously the best thing to do is stop them here and give yourself a chance to tie and put the pressure back on the Quakers.
Again, the Knights to tie will need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. 1st and 5. Scow gets the carry up the left side. Wrestled down, but he got to the first down marker. His helmet flew off, and that was a flag down.
Yep. I don't imagine it's continuing to play after loss of the helmet, because there wasn't much play after that. He seemed to, you can't really stop playing mid-flight, so I'm not sure what that's going to be.
I think that's probably humanly impossible.
Yeah, it could also be a face mask to pull off the helmet. Not sure.
Personal foul against the Knights is the call.
Yep.
Face
so
mask,
apparently the face mask was, the helmet was removed for him.
Undoubtedly, obviously the 15-yard variety, so that is a huge penalty. It's going to move the football all the way out near midfield, all the way to the 49-yard line of Guilford.
I'm not sure at the end of tonight if there will be more yards in the Guilford passing offense, the Southern Virginia passing offense, or the penalties. It's unreal how many yards have gone both ways from penalties tonight.
1st and 10, Quakers, 49-yard line of Guilford. 8-point lead right now for Guilford in the 4th quarter. Pulaski wants to throw across the middle. He's got a man wide open. It's Smith. Makes the grab at the 23, down right there. But he got open across the middle of the field. Their top receiver, Adam Smith, making the grab again, and now Guilford's in business at the Knights 23.
Yeah, Pulaski put that one on a laser, just dead center, in between 3 defenders, able to find that and connect right in the gap.
Pulaski from the shotgun on 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line. Scal, the running back alongside. 2 receivers split to the left, 2 to the right. Guilford trying to run a little clock now in between their plays. They lead by 8 here in the 4th quarter.
Again, that running a clock, a compliment to Southern Virginia. They know that they're a threat.
Pulaski throws to the left, has Hobbs, gets away from a defender, close to the first down marker as well, down to around the 13-yard line.
Yep, good movement. Guilford preserving the drive. At this point, looks like another first down.
Will Hoyt had the coverage out there, and they're going without a huddle.
Yeah, the Knights reeling a little bit now. They've got to pull it together and get a stop quickly.
They throw it back to the right to Smith. He makes the grab. Hit at the 10, down to the 9. Picked up 4. Good open field tackle by Matt Gregory.
Yeah, and it's a smart play by Guilford at this point to run a bit of a hurry up. They're not giving the Knights enough time to adjust after so many successful plays. They're just continuing with those body blows, keeping it difficult to make adjustments.
2nd and 6. Ball at the 9-yard line of Southern Virginia.
There's that run formation. Haven't seen a pass out of it yet. Will we now?
It is going to be a quick pass over to Thompson, and he has hit a great play by Gonzalez to knock him off his feet at the 5-yard line, preventing that touchdown. Yeah. And now it's 3rd and a yard to go at the 5-yard line of the Knights.
Yeah, great stop that time, but again, they can get a first down without getting into the end zone. They need 1 yard. This play right here, the importance of it cannot be overstated. And that same formation that we've seen a lot of runs and that one pass out of.
3rd and a yard to go. It's going to be Scal, the running back, up the middle to the 2 to the 1, and he's in for a touchdown.
8 minutes and 10 seconds left. The Knights now down 2 scores.
Well, Art, there is enough time to score twice in certainly 8 minutes.
Absolutely.
But it really puts the pressure on the Knights offense. They are going to have to be letter perfect down the stretch.
It's true. Kyler Harris, the kick returner for Southern Virginia, has been dangerous tonight, and he's been close to breaking a big run a few times. This would be a great time for him to do that. He's put the Knights in great offensive position as far as field position almost every time he's touched the ball tonight. But in this case, they need even more than that. A big play on special teams would be huge to get them back in this ball game.
And so with the extra point being good, it is now 35-20. Guilford on top by 15 points, 8:10 left on the clock.
Yeah, so the downside of that as well is the Southern Virginia offense is very run-based, and it's all about Jerry Washington.
Although lately, Michael Carroll's been making some big receptions.
Absolutely, but if you're making those run plays, that keeps the clock going. You don't get the incomplete passes, and especially if you're running up the middle, you're not going to be able to get out of bounds and stop the clock either. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they manage the clock with 8:10. Knowing that they got to get 2 scores.
And again, you're down 2 scores, so you don't have any room for error here. You've got to score on this next offensive series to try to pull closer.
Yep, absolutely. It is do or die time for the Knights right here.
35-20 is your score right now, as the Knights trail by 15 points with 8:10 to go in the football game. And here comes the kickoff. It comes down to Will Hoyt at the 70.
Oh, no.
Fumbled it out of bounds.
So
Knights are going to have the ball, but they're going to have it deep in their own end at the 7-yard line.
About that big play on special teams.
I think he just looked upfield a little bit to see how the return was setting up and took his eye off the football. And it glanced off his fingertips right out of bounds. Now, fortunately, it went out of bounds and it wasn't recovered by Guilford.
Sure.
But the unfortunate thing is they're going to start their drive at the 7-yard line. The Knights will.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's by far the worst field position that the Knights have started with tonight. It is a big play on special teams, but unfortunately it's a big play in favor of the Quakers. They have a long field at this point.
93 yards to go for a touchdown. Stevenson from the shotgun. Washington behind him. Here comes the blitz. Handoff to Washington.
No.
Hit and dragged down the 2. He ran right into the blitz and goes down for about a 5-yard loss back at the 2-yard line.
Yeah, very wide spacing that time by the offensive line of Southern Virginia.
Noticed that too, yeah.
Yeah, leaving a gap wide open. Nobody picked up the blitzing back that time and just gave a straight shot to Jerry Washington. There's not a whole lot you can do for juking when the guy's coming straight at you when you first touch the ball.
So now it is 2nd down and about 14 to go. The ball is put down near the 3. Stevenson back in his end zone, several yards deep in the end zone from the shotgun formation, rolls right. Mitch wants to throw upfield, fires over the head of Kyler Harris, incomplete. He was open at the 23-yard line.
Yep, it was right there. It was a great route run by Harris. He looked over to see where the first down was, exactly where he needed to be.
Yeah, he's actually around the 17, and it would have been very close, probably a first down if that pass is on the money.
Yeah, adjusted his route, you could see, to be at the first down marker, but unfortunately overthrown. Just a bad pass that time.
Now it's 7:26 to go, and it's 3rd and 14 to go for the Knights. And they're going to have to pick up a first down, let alone being down by 2 scores. They've got to get a first down here to avoid having to punt from their own end zone.
Yeah, that's always dangerous.
And Stevenson on play action looks upfield, fires on the run for Carroll, and it's tipped away at the last second. It was tipped away by Roscoe.
Beautiful defensive play that time. That you can't throw it much better, but it was just very well read by the Guilford defense and able to get in there.
Antoine Rastu actually made the play, knocked that ball away, and they actually had double coverage on the tight end for Southern Virginia.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Definitely been showing it tonight, and now pinned way back. It looks like Guilford may be looking for a punt block instead of a good solid punt return, which can't blame him based on the situation.
The punter is about a yard away from the end line. The return man is back at his 35. Here comes the kick.
Short kick.
Nice kick, though. It rolls away from the return man, and it rolls out of bounds. That's about as good as SVU really could have expected out of that punt.
Yeah, it really is. Unreturnable on the sideline. Considering you start on your 2 to pin him back almost at the 50, that's pretty good.
So now the ball's at the 49 of Southern Virginia. And Guilford has the football with 7:13 to go here, Art. So what do you expect? You expect the Quakers just to keep throwing, or are they going to run the ball? Even if it doesn't allow them to get a first down, they're going to try to run a little clock here.
I still suspect they're gonna start with Scow on first down. They're going to throw on 2nd and 3rd. It's been what's been working for them all game long.
The quarterback on 1st and 10 wants to throw on first down. It's going to be a quarterback draw. Instead, he dives for about maybe 2 to the 46-yard line, making about a 3-yard pickup.
Yep, so not to Scow, but again, the run on first down, I don't expect them to do that on every down. They're up 2 scores now, so they've got a little bit more breathing room. And
They don't go into the huddle and take a lot of time off the clock. They're just running a lot of plays here with no idea about taking time off the clock in between plays. And the running back that time got down to the 42 of the Knights, leaving the Quakers about 3 yards shy of the first down marker. Interesting, they don't go to the huddle.
Yeah.
They'll usually walk up to the line of scrimmage and maybe take all the time off the play clock.
Yeah, see, that's what I don't understand. Why run a hurry up if you're then going to run the ball to try to run out the clock?
Right.
It seems like you'd run a hurry up if you're passing, or I don't know why you'd run a hurry up at all right now, frankly.
Really?
But if you're going to run, then run out the clock in the dead time too. But
3rd and 7, they're going to throw, or 3rd and 3, and they're going to try to throw. And
they
get up. The quarterback, Poloski, avoids the sack, and he throws out of bounds, incomplete. Boy, how did he get away from that sack at the 45-yard line?
Oh, I don't know. That was just it looked lucky more than anything else. It was a beautiful setup that time by Utalafi. Famuina had a hand on him, just couldn't actually bring him down. It was just clearly couldn't see him coming from behind, just by virtue of luck stepped in the right
Look
direction.
Look at this, on a
right
4th
time.
and 3, instead of punting deep, they're going to go for it on 4th and 3. Quakers with a lot of confidence in their offense, so why not? They came in averaging 52 a game, unless they're trying to draw the Knights off sides here. In which case, they're just going to go ahead and punt. We'll see if they run a play on 4th and 3 from the 43-yard line of
play clock's down.
The Knights. Back to pass. Poloski, he throws.
And it's
incomplete.
short.
The Knights are going to take over at the 42-yard line, Art.
What a turn of events. And I'll tell you, it's the Knights turned it over or punted it away with 8:02, I think it was.
Yeah, 8:10, I think. Yeah.
8:10.
Yeah.
So in 2 minutes, they basically just gained 40 yards.
And like I say, it baffles me. First of all, the Quakers took no time in the huddle or in between plays.
Yeah.
And then at the 43, instead of punting deep and maybe pinning the Knights inside their own 10, they go for it and instead give the Knights a first down at their own 42.
Well, and especially right after having such a successful series where they had already pinned them back. So, I'm not sure that if the Knights end up winning this ball game, that will be highly questioned.
Back to pass. It's going to be Lakeith Hopkins breaking off a run, but he is hit from behind. He broke 2 tackles and then is hit at the 43 and down right there after maybe a gain of about a half yard. It looked like he had some running room, but they shut down that play pretty quickly.
Yeah, beautiful job getting out of the backfield, though. For a minute, it looked like he was going to be stopped for a loss pretty hard, but able to stick it out and get away with getting back to the line of scrimmage, turning a 2 or 3 yard loss into a 1 yard gain.
Again, Guilford on top here, 35-20. We're down to 5:33 to go. Clock is a huge factor now for the Knights, who have to score quickly. Stevenson to throw, pressure.
Oh, no.
And he's going to break away from the pressure, get up to the 50, got the first down, and he's knocked down at the 44, Guilford.
Well played that time. I was sure he was going down, but wait for Mitch Stevenson to hang tough, stick with that play, and turn, again, what looked like it was clearly going to be a sack into a first down.
First down, and I believe he got out of bounds, too, to stop the clock with 5:19 to go.
Nope, they were waiting to spot the ball, but the Knights, again, down 2 scores, 5 minutes left. They've got to get up. They got to get going.
44 yards away from the end zone right now. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Quarterback Stevenson out of the shotgun to throw. Fires, got his receiver. It's Hopkins in the open field to the 30, to the 22. There's another flag coming in. Had a flag for a while. Lakeith down to the 26. And now we have another flag back upfield as the Knights had a couple of linemen.
And another one.
He took off his helmet, the lineman who got whistled for possibly for a penalty flag, then took off his helmet.
So here is the unfortunate situation.
You're going to have 3 penalties.
If that penalty down, if these 2 offset and they take that one, then it's okay. But if this play down here, this scuffle at the 50, ends up negating a major penalty over there, whether it's a face mask, I don't know what it is over there, that would be tragic for Southern Virginia.
And again, you just got to keep your cool, Art. When you've got a situation like that, the last thing you want to do is remove your helmet.
Oh, absolutely. And the scuffle down here itself, it's completely meaningless. It's after the play is over.
It's probably going to be offsetting, you would think. Unless it's really flagrant.
I would think so, but again, it all depends not on what happened, but on the referee saw.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter who instigated.
Sometimes you catch the second.
Exactly, and certainly when the guy takes his helmet off, he saw that. That was well after it. So the referees getting together, this will be a big, big decision to see how all this buffs out.
Yeah, the last thing you want is that second penalty to go against SVU plus the third one. That would be maybe 30 yards of penalty yardage, conceivably.
Yeah, and on a drive that's been working, that you've had so many the Knights have worked hard for the yards that they've gotten on this drive.
They've never given up.
Yeah, absolutely. And so Mitch Stevenson taking that to get the first down, I think they've been working so hard. You hate to see all of that negated on this drive by something like just a mental or really an emotional mistake, letting it.
Let's see what the referees have worked out here, because we still want to see what that first penalty was all about.
Yeah. Keeping up on their quota. It was 3 flags on 1 because it's been a little while, right?
Now, this could be maybe 45 yards of penalty yardage marched off. Holding
on the offense.
Against the offense, against the Knights.
Enforced. That's 2 on the Knights. Oh my gosh, that's 3 on Southern
all
Virginia.
3 penalties went against Southern Virginia.
And so there's 4 fouls.
Yeah, the one was offsetting. The second, the one where they were mixing up on the field.
So it's a replay of first down after enforcing the holding, which will bring it back. So unless I'm mistaken, that'll be 1st and 20 for the Knights on their own 46, 44.
I'm thinking, are they also going to assess that third penalty where he removed his helmet?
Yeah, so the dead ball. Oh, you're right, because the dead ball's offset. But my goodness,
so they could march it back 10 for the holding and then 10 further back for that. Let's see what they end up doing here. Not the thing you want to happen, though, when you're down by 15 with 4:53 to go.
Well, emotions running high. Southern Virginia looked like they were really closing the gap.
So they moved the ball to 38. Are they done moving the ball?
Well, they can't be, because
they moved the ball back out to the 38-yard line.
But it was holding on Southern Virginia, so it's repeating.
Holding, I guess, from perhaps where the Hopkins went down. So the ball's at the 38 now.
I am so confused.
I'm surprised they didn't march off that third penalty.
Yeah, it looks like 1st down and 3.
And Stevenson on 1st and 3 looks to fire over the middle for Carroll, wide open at the 10, and he's down to the 10-yard line. Michael Carroll wide open again across the middle of the field.
I have no idea what happened with those penalties, but I know that was a beautiful play. Carroll again down the middle of the field. He has just been a rock star for Southern Virginia tonight.
And the ball is put down, looks like right at the 10-yard line. So it looks like it's 1st and goal.
Hurrying up a little bit now.
4:32 to go. Here comes the blitz. Stevenson trying to hang in there, throwing on the run, throws it out of bounds. Purposely throws it out of bounds to stop the clock and make it 2nd and 10, the 2nd and goal from the 10-yard line with 4:23 to go.
Yep, had a close enough man that it wasn't intentional grounding, and great block again by Lakeith Hopkins to just take out the blitzing back. Otherwise, it would have been a very difficult situation for Mitch Stevenson. Great job by him.
2nd and goal from the 10-yard line. Harris is split right. Looks like Gearing is over to the left with Harper, also to the left. Stevenson looks left.
Blitz
He's
coming.
pressured. He throws for his receiver. Hopkins makes the catch, goes down at the 2. Almost looks like a horse collar. I think that's what Lakeith wanted, maybe a horse collar type of tackle, and there was no call, no flag. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I
no
mean,
flag. Come on.
Yeah, for as often as they've been throwing him tonight, but also that looked clearly like he had him right there.
So now it's 3rd and goal from the 2-yard line. Jerry Washington checks back in. Clock ticking.
Got to get points here. Got to get
Washington
points.
will go back out.
Under 4 minutes. Got to get points here.
And get them quick. 35-20.
Taking a long time in that huddle. You want to make sure you run a good, solid play.
Hey, the play clock's down to 7.
Got all your timeouts, but you want to hang on to those.
Better hurry. They get the playoff. Stevenson looks to throw. Now he may run. He fires on the run for the back of the end zone. Touchdown!
Oh, what a beautiful play. Took his time as much as it looked like it was running out. He waited and found Kyler Harris in the back of the end zone.
Third touchdown reception, I believe, this season. 2 in the first game. And now, an all-important extra point. It's 35-26 with 3:28 to go. If they hit this extra point, Art, do you onside kick or do you kick deep?
Boy, that's a tough call. It is right there on the fence. To me, I would say if this were any other game, you try an onside kick. In this game, the Knights have been so good on special teams and pinning them deep. I think you kick deep. I think you give it your best and you see what you can do.
Extra point is up, and it is good. So it is 35-27, 3:28 left on the clock. And the Knights suddenly are within 8 points.
Well, no matter how this game turns out, you have to be happy from the Southern Virginia perspective. They came in as a major underdog. Again, Southern Virginia lost to Methodist by a couple of touchdowns.
A team that Guilford beat by 32 points.
Yeah, so that you would have to imagine they were not expected to hold up against this opponent, but very, very well played by Southern Virginia tonight. Again, 52 points in each of their first 2 contests averaging are the Quakers, and the Knights so far holding them to 35, while in the meantime putting up 27 of their own. Again, I said before, they didn't need a moral victory, they needed points on the board, and the Knights, of course, would love a W in this game, but just to be hanging tough, I think is a huge, huge moral victory.
They scored a 21 on Methodist, but one of those was a block punt and return for a touchdown. So they only had 2 offensive touchdowns against Methodist, but they've got 4 tonight.
And they are expecting the onside kick this time.
And we'll see if they do. They boot it deep, relatively speaking. Heads to the 15-yard line. And it is rolled out of bounds by Guilford. The Guilford return man struggled to grab hold of the ball and then finally picked it up and ran out of bounds at the 12-yard line. So Guilford will start deep at its own 12-yard line with 3:28 to go. We'll set the stage here, Art. Guilford has the football and also an 8-point lead. If you're Southern Virginia, really, you need to stop them without allowing a first down.
Yeah, well, let's first comment on that gorgeous, gorgeous kick, because he put it right where the return man couldn't tell. Is it going to go out of bounds? Is it not? It eventually touched him, and he was compelled to take and do what he could. 12-yard line's great. Southern Virginia has to come up big, and they have to do it soon. 3:28 is going to go by real quick.
Let's see if Guilford comes out throwing or they run the football. It is going to be Scow, and he is submarine at the 13. Maybe got a yard, that's all.
And Southern Virginia might look to take a timeout. They're not. They're going to let this one go. But they cannot allow many more. If they run up the middle with Scow again and only get a yard or 2, I fully expect Coach Walker to take a timeout.
3:05 to go. Now you see Guilford using every second, apparently, of the play clock.
Yeah, again, very curious why they didn't earlier, but certainly realizing the dire situation now.
2nd and 9. See if they run again or throw. Pulaski, the quarterback. Shotgun. Back to throw. Fires. Has his receiver. Caught. And it is Thompson. Thompson got up to the 24-yard line. That's enough for a Guilford first down. Big pass reception there.
It is, and again, I'm not sure at what point Coach Walker is going to take the timeouts, but he cannot go much longer.
And really, at this stage, Art, one more first down for Guilford might do it. We're down to 2:32 to go in the ball game.
Yep, if they keep it on the ground or if they complete passes, that's absolutely the case. They have had a difficult time in the run game gaining yards, but they don't really need to gain if they can just hang tight and run out the clock.
35-27 your score. Guilford by 8. 2:15 to go. Play clock at 5. Pulaski, the quarterback, throws a quick pass to Thompson. He makes the grab, avoids a defender, gets up to the 30, down right there. And he picks up about 5 to the 29-yard line, almost to the 30, almost a gain of 6.
Yeah, smart play by the receiver that time as well. He probably could have gotten another couple of yards if he would have cut to the outside, but he didn't want to risk getting knocked out of bounds, wanted to keep it in bounds and keep that clock running, which he's able to do. And again, we're under 2 minutes now. No timeouts being taken by the Knights.
1:40 to go in the football game. 35-27 Guilford.
I guess they realize that if they don't stop them here, it doesn't matter.
That's true.
But even if they do, if they don't have any time on the clock, that doesn't matter either.
Pulaski from the shotgun on 2nd and 4. They'll go to the ground game now. Scow, he runs into a brick wall, hit by several defenders, and knocked ahead a little bit.
And that looks like
he's going to be put down at the 34. It's a first down. First down for Guilford.
And that will do it.
Huge first down pickup there with only
Timeout.
a minute 15 to go.
There's the timeout taken by Southern Virginia. Curious that they waited as long as they did to have that opportunity. Time ticking away. I mean, they ran the full 40 seconds off the clock in each of those scenarios. I mean, I guess I don't really understand it because what's the worst that can happen?
Right.
Either you're helping prolong their drive. Well, if the drive keeps going, you lose anyway.
When you're down by 8, you don't have many choices.
Exactly. So you either have to stop it and prolong and give yourself a chance when you get the ball back, or if you don't get the ball back, it probably doesn't make a whole lot of difference whether you lose by 1 score or 2.
And probably no surprise the Quakers turn to their short passing game to pick up some of these first downs.
Yeah, well, and again, I'm not sure why they did that either, because Scow running up the middle, as long as we're not calling timeouts, why? Why not just keep it on there, let the clock run? But they were able to get a first down. Maybe they were worried about getting into 3rd, 4th down, thinking that maybe Southern Virginia would take the timeouts in that scenario, extend the game. Don't know. But
so at this stage, Art, barring a turnover, it looks like Guilford is going to pick up its 3rd win of the season. It'll be a tough loss tonight for the Knights. If they end up losing this one, they would drop to 0-2. But as you mentioned, they played a heck of a ball game tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And turnovers haven't been prominent coming the Knights' way tonight. Just the 1 fumble, no interceptions, and now's the time to do it. They're going to need something big now.
Scow up the middle to the 40. He picks up about 6 on that carry. And the clock is down to 68 seconds to go. And it looks like from the 40-yard line, another timeout is going to be taken by Southern Virginia. So we are now down to 68 seconds on the clock. 35-27 is your score. The Guilford Quakers on top by 8 points right now over the Southern Virginia University Knights. This would be a tough loss for the Knights. Again, they would drop to 0-2 on the season after falling to Methodist 36-21. Right now they trail here by 8 points with 68 seconds to go against the Guilford Quakers. Quakers would improve to 3-0 on the season. The Knights would drop to 0-2. A reminder that stay tuned for the postgame show. We're going to hopefully have Art Furler joined by Jason Walker, head coach of the Southern Virginia University Knights, get his thoughts on this. What could very well be a tough loss tonight for the Knights. And next week, the Knights have a huge task. They go to Wesley in Delaware. They play at Wesley. Wesley beat Rowan today. Wesley already beat Thomas More, a top 25 team in Division III earlier this season. Wesley 3-0 on the season, I believe. They'll be playing at Wesley next Saturday, September the 27th at 1 p.m. Southern Virginia's next home game, historic home game, October the 11th against Montclair. First home game in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, and also the first ever home game on the home field for the Southern Virginia University Knights. Here we go, 2nd down. And about 4 to go for the Quakers, and they go to Scow, their running back, and he dives ahead of the 41 for a short gain, maybe a yard, up to the 41. And now another timeout will be taken here on the field by the Knights. I believe that's their last timeout, and it comes with a minute 1 to go. So 61 seconds on the clock, and the Knights again trailing here 35-27. And they've got one more shot at it, a 3rd down and about 3 to go coming up here for the Guilford Quakers at their own 41-yard line. We talked about that next home game coming up for the Knights, October the 11th against Montclair. That'll be on Southern Virginia's home field that they've never had a ball game on and never had a regular season ball game on. They'll be playing on their home field for the first time again a few weeks from today, October the 11th, and that will be a noon start against Montclair State. It's the first game on Southern Virginia's home field. It'll also be the homecoming game for the Knights, and it will be the first home game in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. Again, that is set for October the 11th against Montclair State. Here it is Guilford 35, Southern Virginia 27. 3rd and 3 to go for Guilford at their own 41-yard line with just 61 seconds on the clock. Knights showing blitz. quarterback Pulaski from the shotgun with Scal, the running back, alongside on a 3rd and 3. And they run the option. Pitch to Scal. Scal breaks the tackle, gets to the 45, gets to the 50, into Southern Virginia territory at the 49-yard line, and that's probably going to do it. First down pickup by Scal. Got to the 49-yard line of Southern Virginia, and now the clock is going to run with 54 seconds left. And that was the backbreaker right there for Guilford. Quakers led 21-7 at halftime and are on top here, 35-27 over Southern Virginia with just 42 seconds left. Again, stay tuned for the postgame show. We'll hope to hear from Jason Walker, head coach of the Knights, get his thoughts about this one tonight with Art Furler in just a matter of seconds here as Quakers will take a knee. Guilford snaps the ball, takes a knee, and that should do it. Clock is running out here at Salem Stadium as Guilford's going to hang on for an 8-point victory tonight against the Southern Virginia University Knights. Knights drop to 0-2 on the season. Guilford improves to 3-0, but the Knights acquitted themselves very well tonight, facing a high-powered offense of Guilford that came in averaging 52 a game. Knights allow only 35 and fall here, 35-27 to the Guilford Quakers. So again, Guilford with the victory. Quakers are now 3-0 on the season after beating Greensboro, Methodist, and Southern Virginia. And the Southern Virginia University Knights, they dropped to 0-2 on the season. Next up for a Southern Virginia road contest next Saturday, September the 27th at Wesley. And that'll be a 1 o'clock start. Our next broadcast again set for October the 11th, as Southern Virginia on October the 11th will have their homecoming game, taking on Montclair on October the 11th at noon. Again, the first ever game for the Knights on their home field. It'll be homecoming, and they'll also be playing their first home game in the New Jersey Athletic Conference. Getting ready here in just a matter of minutes to throw it down to Art Furler to have his interview, hopefully, post-game interview with Coach Jason Walker. Get his thoughts on a tough loss tonight for the Knights. They fall to Guilford by 8 points, 35-27. Knights trailed again at halftime, 21-7. Hung in there, scored first in the second half. Just could not make enough plays to get any closer. Ended up losing this one by 8 points, 35-27. Knights had several stars tonight, including Michael Carroll, the tight end. Made a number of big pass receptions. Mitch Stevenson had a few interceptions, but also threw the ball relatively well. Jerry Washington ran the ball well. But the Knights just could not consistently stop the Guilford passing attack led by Pulaski, the quarterback. And again, coming up here in just a few seconds, we're going to throw it down to Art Furler, get his thoughts with Jason Walker, the head coach of the Southern Virginia University Knights. Let's go ahead and throw it down to Art Furler, who's got Jason Walker, head coach of the Knights.
Art Furler here with Coach Jason Walker. Coach, wonderful performance tonight, losing by just one score to a team that beat Methodist, a team we struggled against already by 32. How do you feel about the performance of the Knights tonight?
Well, I think we did good in certain areas, and I think we could have improved in certain areas as well. We need to cut out our mistakes. I mean, I think on the defensive side we had way too many mistakes in coverage, as well as some of those missed tackles that allowed them to be able to put up a few more points than what we should have allowed. So, and then, I mean, hats off to our offense. They were rolling and did a good job for us tonight, and exciting to be able to see that improvement over the last 2 weeks that they've had.
Yeah, speaking of a great job by the offense, Michael Carroll, just an amazing performance tonight in the tight end spot. Is this a preview of what we should expect to see the rest of the season out of him?
Well, I sure hope so. I sure hope so. He had a good night. He did a good job.
Yeah, great for him. Jerry Washington as well, really giving it to us on the ground. Your thoughts about the next home game we have? I know you've got a couple before that, but how do you feel about playing the first game that we'll have at the stadium, at the fields at Southern Virginia University?
Well, obviously we're way excited. All of our kids are way excited. It's been something that those seniors have been dreaming about and been told that's going to happen for them for a long time. So they're excited to be doing it, and we're grateful and glad that we have the opportunity to do that.
Excellent. Thanks for your time, Coach. We'll let you get to it, and we'll send it up to the boxer, Jim Bresnahan, for the wrap-up.
Okay, Art, thanks again. Again, the final score tonight, it was Guilford 35 and Southern Virginia 27. Next ball game for the Knights will be next Saturday at Wesley on September the 27th. Next Saturday, 1 p.m. Our next broadcast again set for October the 11th, homecoming, as Southern Virginia plays its first game on its home field, first home game in the New Jersey Athletic Conference, October the 11th against Montclair. So that'll be October the 11th, starting at noon, so be listening for that. Again, your final score tonight, it was Guilford 35 and Southern Virginia University 27. For Art Furler, I'm Jim Bresnahan. Have a great evening, everyone.